Well, well, well. Hello, hello, hello everyone. How are we doing today? Good to see you all. Rainbow Force 5, there's a name I don't recognize, along with Communist Doggo. Welcome to the stream. How are you both doing today? Glad to have you here. You've come along for an interesting one, that's for sure. Amra/LM, hello, welcome. Hisnitch, hi, excited about some furry visual novel content today. I'm glad someone is. Sander, hello. Who else we got? Mars Red Planet, Gray, congratulations on the gold Holy Grail now as well, Gray. Okay, thank you honestly just for supporting for the channel for so long, I really do appreciate it. Can You Don't /Hunter Earls, welcome in as well. And Theo the Cat Guy, both also got the gold trophy as well. Honestly, I do appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel for so long. It means so much to me that you guys have been here the whole time. Behold, it is you, Zonorix. Actually, it should be, behold, it is the Zonorix. Coming in with the, I think you've got, is that the bronze or the wooden one I've got there? I think it might be the bronze one you've got on at the moment. Nice. All right, let me just drop down that one a little. Here's Snitch, no, I'm joking. Like, I think there's quite a few people here that are excited for furry visual novel content today. Ice Frestum, hi, I don't recognize your name. If this is your first time here, welcome to the stream. We should be having some fun today. Seeing one of your favorite content creators have to deal with a furry game has got to be one of the best birthday gifts you could get. Happy birthday, Ice. Happy birthday. I appreciate you being here. I'm not sure if it's exactly your birthday today or if it's been like your birthday recently, but one way or another, happy birthday. I hope you've had a wonderful time. Make sure to celebrate with friends and family as well. You don't have to be here. Don't forget, people on the internet, not as important as people in real life. People call it poetry /Lucifer. Welcome, welcome. I'm getting better at starting to remember the different names that people go by. Graham, have to work on an assignment while watching today? Absolutely fine. Just make sure you've got yourself a lovely cup of tea today, my friend. Or other hot drink, whatever beverage takes your fancy. Speaking of, if you don't have yourself a hot or cold drink, depending on the part of the world you're in at the moment, get yourself a drink, get yourself some snacks. We're going to chat for a couple of minutes and then we'll dive into some gameplay today. Max the Paladin, hello me monkey. Why did I just... Immediately in my head, I'm reading that in... what's the guy's name? The crab from SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm reading it in his voice. Hello me monkey. Perfect. Zonrix, the only thing you know about this game is the video thumbnail. Well, you know about as much as I do about this game then. Any game that I actually play on stream... Yeah, Mr. Krabs, thank you. Don't know why that left my head. But yeah, any game that I try and play for these live streams, I try to go in as blind as possible because I think that's the best way to try and enjoy something. It's why like I'm a little bit jaded about the whole like AAA gaming scene at the moment. There's just so much content out there that by the time you get to play the game yourself, you already know most of what's going on, and if you're not following a guide to play it optimally, what are you even doing? A lot of people would question. But I miss the glory days of gaming, where you would just grab a random game off the shelf and go, huh, looks interesting, chuck it in, and you have no idea what you're going to be in for. It could be something fun and amazing, it could be the worst game ever created, nobody knows, but that's the joy of doing it. Maybe it's just me, I'm in that age bracket, I'm nostalgic for that kind of gameplay. Thomas once again coming in with the wrong account. Hi, Ty. Love that happens every single time. Oh, dear. Ice, you watch the streams often, just don't figure out what to say most of the time. Ah, okay, yeah, no, it is today. All right, perfect. Can everyone in the chat just please wish Ice a happy birthday, because they absolutely deserve it. Everyone deserves a happy birthday. And welcome in for being here. And also, don't worry about not commenting most of the time. That is totally fine. At the end of the day, like I was always a lurker on live streams and stuff in the background and just barely ever commented on anything, so don't feel bad about it. I just appreciate you being here. That's what matters. KB, hilarious that you happened to be drawing a furry character when this started. You have perfect timing, my friend. We're going to be diving into a whole world of furry stuff from the sound of it. Gray's got cherry coke to drink today. Nice. Yes, you have been remembered, Lucifer. Collector G, I agree. AAA gaming is definitely saturated. I mean, it's saturated, but it's also not at the same time. It depends if you're looking at it from the perspective of AAA gaming in general, or like console exclusives and things like that. There's definitely a lot out there. But there was a post that I saw recently which really resonated with me, and that was just the simple fact that the average price of a game continues to increase, but we know that the economy is in a downturn and everything is getting less and less affordable. So I don't know who they're trying to pitch their games to, because let's face it, most gamers have enough of a gaming backlog or know of and appreciate enough free content that they could sustain themselves for the next 5 to 10 years pretty easily playing games that they already own. So it makes justifying handing over anywhere between like $70 and $100+ for a game pretty difficult to stomach, I think, these days. I mean, yes, I buy and play a lot of games for the channel, but a lot of them are around like the $20 or less price range. In terms of games that I purchase that are in that higher price bracket, it's maybe 2 to 3 per year that I will purchase. Yeah, I think the most recent one was Baldur's Gate, and I still haven't made it past Act 1 yet, so I think that really says a lot about where my time's going currently. Anyway, a little bit of a rant about that. So yes, welcome for those that are new to the stream. What we're doing here is a little bit different to the normal Steam sequence content. The live streams are community suggested games. The only wow, I'm stumbling over my words this morning. The only criteria for which is they need to have 200 or less reviews. So we're always going to be playing some games that are a little more overshadowed, overlooked, or buried amongst the tens of thousands of games on Steam. So always looking for something a little more curious. And today's game, Komorebi, happens to be a furry visual novel. Romance visual novel specifically, I believe, but with an interesting looking sci-fi setting, hence the StarFox reference for those that didn't get it. Yeah, that's true, I did get Mario Wonder as well, and I think that's mostly because Nintendo games, you kind of know what you're getting when it comes to quality, for the most part. People call it poetry. Last game you bought was Mass Effect Legendary on 80% off during the N7 game day. Yeah, I think I got it around that time as well. I got a physical copy of the Mass Effect collection for PlayStation 4? PlayStation 4, yeah. Still sitting. I booted up. I played most of the way through Mass Effect 1 for the like 3rd time and then kind of stopped. It's a good game though. I do enjoy those. Did I make sure this game is YouTube friendly? Yes and no. I do know that it is not an R18 game. There is going to be nothing explicit in it. It is just a romance-styled visual novel, so it should be fine to play on stream. If we get anything dicey, we'll be careful with it. However, disclaimer for today's game. The only things that I want to kind of mention is that, one, I'm not a furry. So this is stepping into a world that's kind of unusual for me. And secondly, this is a specifically gay visual novel. I am also not gay, so this is again stepping into another new world for me. But you know what? What is gaming meant to be if not pushing you outside the realm of reality and into a realm of fantasy? So I'm here, I'm going to embrace it. Maybe not literally. I'm going to embrace the concept. And we're going to have some fun with it. I am a little curious to see how this goes as a stream though. Simply because, let me just drop the music down again, that was a little bit intense, that one. Simply because I believe this game has full voice acting. So we're going to see how this goes as a stream, mostly because I don't know how good it's going to be in terms of actual stream content. I don't know what level of interactivity we're going to get out of it. I don't know how good the story is going to be. This is going to be an experience for all of us. But from my understanding, it is relatively short, can be played through in a day. So we'll see how far we get. And when we get towards the 2 to 3 hour mark, we'll decide if we want to carry on with it or if we want to call it there. We'll see how we go. Alright, so Zonorix, you still haven't made a suggestion for this month. You should probably do that. You've still got time, my friend. Reminder for this month specifically, next week's stream is going to be our Valentine's Day stream, and it's for that one we're looking for games which are based around romance, love, cooperation kind of stuff in games. All of that lovely, lovely stuff, and that's going to be for the special stream next week. Going to be very interested to see what we get out of that. And then remember, though, if your suggested thematic game does not get selected, you can change your game after the stream to something else if you wish. Theo the K-Guy, you're okay enough for all of us. Perfect. I'll need your guidance. In fact, I'm probably going to be relying on everybody's guidance here to figure out who the most romanceable characters are. Because I'm probably going to be like, I'm not feeling it with anyone. Yeah, that's fine. We'll roleplay and go along with it a little bit. Ooh, I should be careful about my choice of words there. Here's Nitch. You're planning to buy Yomi Hustle for someone else and probably Wingspan and Beyond the Stars when they go on sale. Absolutely. I've heard good things about Wingspan, actually. The game you searched for this month is one you've been kind of obsessed with. I think I've seen that one. It's like a 2D Metroidvania style platformer. Unless I'm mistaking it with someone else on there. Apologies if so. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. I think we've got the right kind of people in the audience for this one. Can you kiss the guys in this game? Judging by what I saw from a screenshot, I believe there is an option to. I don't know how it's presented. Elbow Juices better not have fairies on it. No, this is not an R18 game. This will not. This will be probably M at most. We'll see how we go with it. But this is definitely one that is fine to stream. I can say that much. Alright. I think that is enough explanation. And I think it's time that we get into things. Oh, wonderful timing. Right as the music ends. That's what we love. Alright, let's pop the game music back up and let's switch over and welcome to Komorebi. This is the main menu. This is all you're gonna get. Got some cod thing down at the bottom. Let's have a look. We have background music, BGS. Who knows what that is? I'm guessing that's... No, SE has to be sound effects, so that's probably voices, or no, just background sounds. Gotcha. So... 2 different ones for sound effects, no slider for voice acting. Interesting. I'm just going to bump the volume back up a little to make sure that we can hear it. Is it RPG Maker? I don't think so, but we will find out. We will absolutely find out. Alright, let's dive in and see what the hell this is all about, because I am very... Yeah, it sounds like background sounds, I think, is ambient noise, which you can hear a little bit of like birdsong and stuff in the background, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say straight away, doesn't quite fit with the scene here. It's nighttime. I would expect crickets, not birdsong, but that's fine. It's a small thing. Very, very small thing. Let's dive in. New game. I like the stylized like yellow and blue highlights around a lot of the UI. It's quite good.
Welcome to Komorebi.
Okay, you guys will have to let me know if like the voiceover sound effects are on the right level or not. Yeah, I heard it's got some prolific voice actors in it. Like, it should be quality voice acting, which, honestly, in a game like this, the voice acting is either going to make or break the game. It's going to be one of those ones where, like, if the voice acting's good, we leave it on. If the voice acting's bad, we turn it off and you deal with my awful voice acting instead. Alright, welcome to Komorebi.
You have chosen to take part in a personal experience.
A very personal experience. Wink.
In exchange for that, we have given you several options to use.
Thank you.
Feel free to do so at your leisure.
What are these options? Please tell me.
Your experience will be divided into fragments like these. Right now, there's only one.
Thank you. I can count.
Try saving and then interact with this fragment.
Okay, interesting teaching to use the save mechanic, like, right away.
Alternatively, feel free to enjoy the view.
How does one do that? Are you talking about this view? I mean, this view's okay, but I'd rather see this view.
Experience opening fragment. A new beginning.
No, and the game just closes. Alright, let's dive in. Open mind. Open mind. It's not a new genre for me, but it's definitely a new concept for a game. This bit's not voice acted. And set a watcher upon her, great and strong Argus, who with 4 eyes looks every way. And the goddess stirred in him unwearying strength. Sleep never fell upon his eyes. but he kept sure watch always. Fragment of a lost poem. Yeah, Theo, if the voice acting's bad, you might have to leave. Totally get that. Hopefully you'll be happy to deal with my terrible voice acting instead. But actually, I didn't see an option to turn... Hang on. Yeah, there is no option to turn the voice acting off. So it is what it is. Ah, but the main character, the player character, is not voice acted. Alright, so you will have to deal with me instead. My eyes flutter as I linger on the precipice of a peaceful sleep. Cars pass by, then fade away, lulling me like mechanical waves on a suburban ocean. However, as enticing as slumber may seem, this is not the time or the place. Also, I do really like this kind of art style that's got this painterly look to it. You can kind of see the strokes fading away into the sides. It's actually very, very nice. Very nicely done. I'm hoping there is no AI art generation going on here. I don't think it would be, given when this game released, but fingers crossed. Also, the text looks okay. As we drive, I keep myself awake with pleasant thoughts. Thoughts both old and new. Those vehicles that pass by, where were they going? And where did they come from? I dig deeper and start to wonder who those people were, who they loved and held dear. I don't know if any of you guys have done that before. You just have that moment of realization when you're in amongst a crowd that you are your own individual, but also so is everyone else. And they're having the same similar thoughts and their own storylines and things that you never ever interact with, going about their daily business. There's always a part of us, because of how the human consciousness and psyche works, that we always imagine that we're our own main character in our own story, and this is our world, and everything is kind of at least a little bit about us. But yeah, we also have to remember that everyone else thinks exactly the same thing to an extent. And I always find that's a very interesting thought process to go through, and I actually think it's very important for people's development to realize that everyone else has that same individualistic feeling as well. Yeah, don't know if there's a specific name for that feeling. There probably is, and if there is one, I would bet that it is in German, because the German language has words for a lot of feelings that the English language does not have words for. My favorite being Schadenfreude. It's called Sonder. Yes, it is. Thank you, Sander. I did know that there were... I was like, I'm sure there is a word. I've heard it about before. Yeah, Sonder. I'm pretty sure that's it. The realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own. Beautiful. But I would be guessing it's not a German root then. I would be interested to know where that has originated from. Very important question. Do you know if this game has any moths? No idea. Most of the characters that I saw in the images were canine in nature, which is quite interesting. So I guess we'll see what else is in there. I'm more of a cat person than a dog person, but that's fine. Elbow Juice, yeah, you can also see the visible text in the background. Yeah, AI, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can see it says... I'm going to have to say this already. It says Nyan. So, yeah, there's definitely some... okay, yeah, sorry. I don't think it's AI art generation. And you're right, it does look more like concept art than anything, but I love that style. Oh, it is Sonder. I guess it is German. Sonder is German for unique. Pretty sure the word's not used in German in that way. Yeah, makes sense. All right, let's carry on. Billions of people, all with lives fundamentally different from mine. It's a lot to take in. But is that difference a good thing or a bad thing? I stop to think and can find no answer. As many people say, though, the unknown is alluring. That's part of why I'm sitting here right now. I feel a tap on my shoulder. Let out a yawn. Giving my friend a slight smile, it isn't long before I receive one in return. At least we were both on the same page. There'd be plenty of time for sleep later on.
Hey, you alright over there?
Alright. Again, let me know if the voice acting is on an okay volume level. I can turn it up a little bit if we need to.
Ever since we left the airport, you've been dozing off like mad. I thought it was pretty good company, you know? You're offending me.
Well, sorry. I was a little sleepy. I shake my head, as if doing so would grant me further clarity. Okay, so we've got a few options. Some interesting, like, emotive icons on the side as well. Give you a bit of a hint about how it's going to land with the character. Alright. Yeah, stream's going to have many fun clips. Absolutely. Guy does things. Graeldon Catboy stream? Probably not anytime soon, but maybe I'll bookmark it. Maybe a Halloween thing. Are there hippos in the game? I don't know. I don't think so. We'll find out. We're going to find out together. Alright, so we can say you're great company, just really tired. Honestly, I was waiting for you to make the first move. Wow, that's very forward this early in the game. You're pretty boring. I'm already planning a return flight home. Ouch. What was it you can wake me up like that? Just feeling homesick, that's all. You know what? I'm going to go with the top one. Great company, I'm just a little tired. That's fine.
Yeah, me too. But you're the only one to blame here.
Ouch.
Why did you book the red eye? Now there's a question for the ages. I had some coffee, but not even that could save me.
Okay, I am going to bump the volume up just a little on there, because it's soft on my end, so it's probably a little soft on yours as well. Okay. Zonrix, this game is kind of an enigma, and I'm not sure if this is an RPG Maker or not. The menus look like it, but also don't look like it at the same time. I don't think it's in RPG Maker. Let me have a quick look, see if I can tell anything from the background. Interesting. The background process for it actually shows up as something called NWJS. Not even the title of the game. And the taskbar icon does not even show the logo of the game. It's just a white page. So, not sure if that gives you any information, but there you go. To be honest, extremely rude. Be extremely rude the entire playthrough. That would kind of be funny, but unfortunately, I'm a little bit too much of a goody two-shoes to do that. Okay. Also, red-eye flights absolutely suck. Been there, done that. Did one from West Coast Australia to East Coast Australia. Worst flight experience I think I've ever had in my life. Mostly because I was like... It was one of those planes where you've got 2 seats on the left, 2 seats on the right, 3 seats in the middle. I was on the left-hand side of the plane, and I was on the aisle chair. Person on my left had the window seat. Complete random stranger, didn't know who they were, but found out very quickly they were having gastrointestinal problems because they were getting up to use the bathroom every half hour. For a, like, 8-hour flight. Absolutely ridiculous. Overnight flight, was not able to sleep. It was completely awful. Landed in Sydney on the other side, caught a train from there into like the city centre to get to the hotel, and literally within 5 minutes of being on the train, we had like a little carriage just basically to ourselves. And yeah, 5 minutes into the train ride, someone walks in from the left-hand side, the doors open, they stroll in, see us, nod in acknowledgement, and proceed to projectile vomit all over our suitcases. And then just, without a word, walks on and exits to the right. What a freaking experience. So, no, I don't ever want to do a red-eye flight again. That was just the worst. NWJS is just a way to package the game that uses some engines use. Okay, fair enough. Picking the root option in the game is the ultimate evil. Yeah, that's why you have to do multiple playthroughs. One to be kind of nice and play it how you'd want to play it, and another one to see just how awful it actually gets. Alright.
Besides,
before we can continue, he's cut off by a loud beeping noise. Here's Snitch. Why do they call it red eye? Because it's an overnight flight, and typically because you're trying to fly on a plane, you can't actually lay back and relax. You get off on the other side pretty sleep deprived, and therefore red, sore, tired eyes. That's why it gets called that. A light on the dashboard starts to flash, causing him to groan in annoyance. He looks down for a moment and presses a button to silence the intrusion.
distracted driving? Of course. Apparently, this thing doesn't want me talking to my friend. I guess it thinks you're a risk? Maybe you should take that as a compliment.
I shrug, unsure of how to respond, as I rest my head on the window. According to the system, almost everything was a risk these days. It wasn't worth losing the point, so we sit and remain in silence. Oh goody, we live in a police state. Lovely. Alright, and there is the first achievement for beginning the experience. And I did have a look before and I saw, I think around 94% of people get that achievement. So that, again, handful of people, install the game, boot it up, get to the main menu, don't get much further than that. Alright, a few moments later the silence is finally broken. Also, lovely little scene. Yeah, same art style, nice flow to it. Some IKEA furniture in the background, a little bit of greenery, love the hanging plants, nice touch. Some abstract art. This looks very cozy. Could be a little cozier, but it looks nice. Looks clean. Looks clean. Did your previous message get filtered out because I had a link in it? Quite possibly, yeah. YouTube chat does tend to filter out things that have links in it. Alright. A few moments later, the silence is finally broken. I'm thankful as things were starting to get a little awkward. So who is this person and what's their relation to us? I don't actually know yet. But I guess meeting someone for the first time is always like that.
Well, it was nice of him to pick you up from the airport. Isaac, right? Make sure to keep people like him close by during a change like this. Things may seem a bit uncertain right now, but remember, that's not a bad thing.
Okay, something's happened. Our name appears to be Isaac. There's been some kind of change that's caused us to uproot and have to move from the sound of it. He fiddles with a few papers in his hands before pulling out a specific sheet. Placing it on the table between us, he slowly slides it over to my side of the room. I pick it up and inspect it for a few moments. It's a basic questionnaire.
If you could just fill out the basics, that would be great.
Okay.
Obviously,
Why?
I know who you are.
Who are you?
But we need to leave a paper trail. You fill that out and I'll decide our topics for the day, all right?
What's going on here? I nod, grabbing the pen that rests on the table beside me. Obviously my character knows what's happening with all this, but I don't yet. These sessions were always boring, especially the first few. A new city and a new councillor, right back to square one. Okay, councillor, right, gotcha. So we've moved to a new city and immediately the first thing we do is find a new councillor. Interesting. Also, yeah, just heads up, there was a warning at the very start of this game in the intro that this game does deal with some themes of mental health, so just heads up on that one. After filling out the form, I place it on the table and slide it back. The councillor picks it up, inspects it, and gives me a knowing nod.
All that aside, I assume that you still prefer the name Delta? It was mentioned in the note sent over by your previous counselor.
So my name is Isaac, with an alias Delta. Okay.
Don't worry.
Could be worse.
It's normal. A lot of people your age shy away from their birth name. Why spend our lives with something that's been decided for us, right? Things are a lot more flexible than we give them credit for.
Yeah, that's a concept I've got no problems with. If you don't like the name your parents gave you, nothing wrong with giving yourself a different name.
That includes the future, a fact that people tend to forget.
I really don't know where he's going with this. He taps the papers against his lap, straightening them out.
Allow me to be a little blunt. I mean, we both know why you're here.
Unfortunately, at this point in time, you know why I'm here. I don't.
My practice focuses on people like yourself, those who saw nothing. Honestly, that's a very small group. It must get lonely for you sometimes.
Yes, that's why I'm here, and desperate to find people. I shrug.
There's a single question I like to ask my new patients. So, excuse the cliche, but how does that make you feel? Being alone while billions receive a glimpse of the future.
Aha, alright, now we've got a little bit more world building. Interesting. Yeah, Beep, I absolutely agree. Not enough StarFox in this game, although this does look like what Wolf could have looked like had he chosen a completely different career path. Rather than being a fearsome bounty hunter and instead went into the world of psychology. So like straight away, how's that make you feel? But also, this is an interesting idea. Being alone while billions receive a glimpse of the future. That's an interesting plot device, and I like that as idea. I guess this is going to the point of, yeah, the vast majority of people in the world, like 99.9%, something like that, have obviously received some kind of visions of the future to give them ideas about technology and where things are going to be able to go from there, but we missed the boat. Why, though? I thank him for rubbing it in, ensuring that the sarcasm is clear.
It's the opposite, actually. I meant to give you some support. Imagine being constrained by a vision of your future, consumed by it. You have what some people would call freedom, a truly blank slate.
That's an interesting perspective to take on it.
Remember, Komorebi is a relatively new phenomenon. Society
Roll
has
credits.
flourished for thousands of years without it.
Also, good moment to note that the music in the background is actually quite nice. Suits the theme nicely. It's nice and calm, but it does have this like kind of synth tones that give it a bit of a sci-fi feel to it. So it's very, very thematic.
Some would consider your situation a blessing. Don't forget that.
That's an interesting concept. If you could have the ability to know about everything that is going to happen in your future, would you, and that would force you on that path, would you want to know that, or would you not? Would you prefer for the future to remain unknown and you have the ability to change it, or for the future to be known and unchangeable? It's an interesting take. I can tell he's giving a speech that he's given many times before. Because of that, it seems to lose some of its impact and wisdom. As I close my eyes, I simply hope that this is all over soon. Yeah, leave me in ignorance. Could be absolutely awful. Like, you could get told your future and like, yeah, you're going to do amazing things and this and that and everything's wonderful and you eventually die of old age and natural causes. Or it could be, your story ends tomorrow. Just, scary. The TV report continues and I open my eyes with slight hesitation. I've only been here for a few days and rest is almost impossible to find. A new start to your life is always stressful after all. At least I have friends.
I can't believe they're making us watch this.
Hello, I don't actually remember what your name is, and I would appreciate it if it actually brought up like a nameplate or something. That would make life a little bit easier.
100 years of visions? Nobody cares. Looks like Argus just wants to stroke their own ego.
Voice acting's pretty good though. Dante, that's your name. Okay. No, wait, this is someone else. Dante leans forward, taking the opportunity to chime in.
Yeah, this is
You're
more
Dante.
about the system than anything else. Maybe they should fix all the glitches before boasting.
More about the system than anything else. Okay.
Watch. Soon it'll say talking over their propaganda is risky.
Alright, so you've got the black and purple, a little bit of a flop of hair going on. You're black and blue. Both of you are giving me emo tones. That's fine. Dante from the Devil May Cry series, absolutely. Okay, so Isaac, Dante. Isaac, Dante. Isaac, Dante. Also, I love how they've done this thematic here now that the hair color matches the eye color. Blue hair, blue eyes. Purple hair, purple eyes. Could you imagine if that was the rule for everyone in reality? I would have bright green hair if that was the case. Ooh, biblical names. Good catch, Elbow Juice. They are indeed. I wonder if that's going to continue as a trend. Playing to the theme somewhere, because we'll have to find out. When we're playing as Isaac in the last scene, I thought maybe? Or is this actually... No, this can't be us. Okay, I'm a little confused as to who's who, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We know this guy's definitely Dante, though.
You're not supposed to badmouth the system, Dante.
As if my score could get any lower, man. Besides, Delta has definitely seen my true colors by now. I'm
we're
under
Delta.
no obligation to keep up the nice guy act.
Yeah, we're Delta. Interesting. Yeah, don't think the MC was Isaac. Isaac was in the car with us. Yeah. Interesting. So they have some kind of social scoring system going on here.
Why does it have to be an act? Can't you just, you know, be nice?
Have to agree with you there, Isaac. Dante scoffs.
Too much effort, not enough caffeine.
Okay, you're not a morning person, or a people person for that matter.
And you know the system is messed, Isaac. We're all on a leash. They just use Komorebi
Roll
as an
credits.
excuse to make it stay that way.
Can't argue with that one. Hey, Delta, didn't you
Yeah,
have an
we're
appointment
Delta.
soon? Maybe I can use you as an excuse to stop watching this thing.
And you're telling me to be nice.
Fairly natural feeling conversation. I like that. I laugh at the retort and lean back in an attempt to relax. I let Isaac know that he was right, but my appointment wasn't for a while. What do we do other than go to psych appointments, like to therapy appointments? Is that just our life? We hang out here in our room, chat, and then go to a therapy appointment. Alright. Yeah, imagine the player's real name isn't going to be mentioned so you can make this. Well, no, they've said that we're Delta. Yeah, because of the voice acting, absolutely. Plenty of time to gather my thoughts and continue watching this report. Actually, that is one thing that I'm looking forward to, is like from... AI can do a lot of things, and I would say the majority of what it can do makes a lot of people very upset. With good reason, right? I'm going to say that. However, one thing that I'm looking forward to just like AI models being able to do is to actually voice act player names. Because that's one thing that I know a lot of games have to work around. And yes, I know this is kind of like flagging myself or whatever, like a self-report. Recently, I've been enjoying playing a little bit of Genshin Impact on the side, just like as a nice way to unwind and play something silly I don't have to feel any kind of commitment to. But one thing that it does do is quite interesting is you can call yourself whatever you want, but the in-game voice acting will always refer to you as adventurer or traveler or something like that. I'm looking forward to the point where I can put in what my in-game name is, what my tag is, and the AI generated voice would actually be able to allow for that to be put into the voice acting in a natural sounding way. Because I think that would just be a really nice touch and would help increase the immersion to be able to hear your own voice said out loud. Yeah. Your name's your Commander Shepard, Shepard. That is amazing. I love that. Is the punishment for comically low social credit being shoved into the R-Wing? No, you're shoved into one of those little robots that just swoops down, fires 2 shots, and then gets blown up by the people in the R-Wings. That's the punishment. Yeah, in theory you could do that with a voice bank. I think there has been a couple of other games out there that have attempted to do something like that, but it never sounds natural. And I think that's one thing that AI are actually going to be able to achieve, and that's like the one use of it, or maybe like the 2 uses for it that I'm really looking forward to, is that from an immersion perspective, but also from potentially like the AI generated just like casual conversations that you could overhear in a crowd and things like that, because it's a lot of the voice acting content that adds to the like massive file sizes and development time of games, because finding the voice actors, paying for them, recording all the lines, writing all the lines in the first place, that takes so much time from a dev perspective. You know, in Black and White back in like 2001 or something, it recorded the 50-ish most common names and would randomly whistle them at night throughout the game. I mean, that's pretty cool. Graeldon, welcome in. We're just getting started on a visual novel here. Sorry, I keep getting distracted with random tangents and thoughts, but it's interesting stuff to chat about. Interesting stuff indeed. Alright, so we're continuing to watch this report. Yeah, I definitely need to gather my thoughts yet before the next therapy appointment, I'm guessing. There's a fog over my mind. I feel so scatterbrained. Grounding myself in this new environment would definitely help. Hey, grounding! An actual helpful therapy technique. Nice. Alright. Hey, oh, there's the title drop. Komorebi, appointment, the system, news report.
Interact with each word to learn more about it.
Okay, nice. We're not on rails. We have some choices to make.
Upon interacting with all 4, your experience will continue.
Okay, maybe not quite. We are on rails. We just have 4 different routes to take, and then we go somewhere else. Alright, let's start in the top left. Komorebi. One day, the world was changed forever. Billions of people experienced vivid visions of the future. These could not be mistaken for dreams. It seemed to be true precognition. The visions that people had would allow them... The visions that people had would follow them for the rest of their lives. Replaying at the worst possible times, it was almost like an intrusive thought. Whether positive or negative in nature, these visions still consumed lives. Nobody knew how or why this happened, but it was far too late. Chaos ensued. Those who saw personal success went to great lengths to fulfill their visions. Those who saw personal failures did anything they could to avoid them. It wasn't just a one-time event either. Komorebi overstayed its welcome. Children and grandchildren grew up alongside this odd phenomenon. They too experienced their own visions around the age of 13. The world became obsessed with the future. Obsessed with Komorebi. It was a word describing sunlight that shines down through the trees. A simple and poetic metaphor for the visions filtering into our world. However, it wasn't a series of visions, nor would they change over time. It was a vision of a single moment, and it would follow you for the rest of your life. For example, if your vision was horrible, you'd still be forced to live it almost every day. It seemed far from fair, and lives were defined by the moment presented in people's visions. Interesting. So it's not just one generation, it's multiple generations. And also, yeah, Sander, you jumped in with the definition and the game jumped in with it for themselves as well. Yeah, visual novels are not a genre that I normally play. In fact, until I started doing YouTube, I don't think I'd really played a single visual novel at all. And I don't mind them. I think they're interesting from a storytelling perspective. And if anything, this is probably the way that I enjoy experiencing a visual novel, with all of you to be able to just like laugh and point to like some of the small things, but also like to theory craft about some of the lore together as well. Very interesting stuff. Alright, let's go appointments. While the Komorebi phenomenon was peculiar, there was also something else. Some people saw nothing, left completely in the dark with no vision at all. Less than 1% of the world experienced this. A very small group. But it was still extremely worrying. What did seeing nothing mean? Were you dead? Nobody knew. Spider Macho, thank you for doing a name drop tally. I appreciate that. I'll rely on you so that by the end of the game we know exactly how many times Komorebi was said. I'll hold you to that. Depression and suicidal ideation became commonplace among this group. They are assigned a counselor who meets with them on a regular basis. Right, so that's why like one of the first things we did was have a counselor. I mean, I guess in a sense it makes like it fits with the world, right? If you're constantly having visions forced upon you about your own depressing future, yeah, the need for counselors is going to go through the roof, right? Can you imagine that? Like once a week you have a vision of how you're going to die in a car crash at the age of 40. You're gonna need some pretty intense therapy to deal with that and be able to carry on with a normal life until that event actually happens. So I like the reality of this. They've obviously really thought this through from a narrative perspective and a world building perspective. Like, it's not just me, right? That does actually make some amount of sense. I am one of these people. I never experienced my own vision. People always worry for me and fear that I may do something rash. In reality, however, I'm fine. My lack of a vision has never defined me. Because I moved to a new city to live with friends, I was given a new counselor. It's kind of lame to start all over after spending so many years with the last one. But I'm told that this doctor is great and I'll feel at home in just a few sessions. Alright, cool, I like that. Yeah, what if your visions were just super lame, like what you're going to have for breakfast in 2 years? It seems to be that these visions are a little more in-depth than that. Like, they do actually give you basically an overview of what is going to happen in your life. That's quite an interesting take on it. Yes, welcome to Mean. This is a gay furry visual novel. There's really not too much more to say to it other than that, but it does have some very interesting sci-fi world building, which I am here for more, honestly, more than the furry romance aspect. I love this kind of lore and world building. It's cool stuff. Also, I hope you guys aren't minding the attempts at like a sincere narration VO that I'm trying to do. Hope it's working out okay. Alright, let's talk about the system. What is the system? And who's responsible for it? Is it the government? Is it some massive corporation? That's what you tend to see in these sci-fi settings, that there's this massive global corporation that's trying to control the population. Because of the chaos that ensued during the event of Komorebi, a plan was needed. Make sure you log that one, Spider Macho. We've got another. Why did I change my latest video's title? Mostly for performance reasons. We had a suspicion that if we kept in the title reference to suicide bomber, I think that's what it was originally, kind of got flagged by the YouTube algorithm and wasn't being pushed as hard as it normally would be. Let's put it that way. There's certain words and phrases that YouTube looks at from an analytical point of view and will decide whether or not it pushes it and what audiences it's suitable for. There's a lot of complexities in it. May not have actually made a difference in the long run, don't know, but at the end of the day I feel happier with the one that we landed on afterwards. Oh, yep, Acorn, Grinding and Heartwood as well. Fair enough. Good thing to do. I'm happy to be second Monda content. Enjoy your Heartwood. Okay. There were too many people acting recklessly in the face of their futures. Whether avoiding or fulfilling the visions, risky behavior was a constant. A new system was introduced that governed the behavior of the people. You would be held accountable for all of your actions, regardless of legality. This was an attempt to keep people in line, focused on the present. Live in a safe, orderly manner and you'd accrue points over your lifetime. If you did the opposite, you'd lose points. Be rude, speed, litter, stuff like that. Your point total would define you as either an asset or a liability to society. Yeah, it's a social credit system. While primitive at first, this concept grew as technology progressed. It is currently integrated into every possible device. Phones, cars, homes. The demand is clear. Be rewarded for your subservience to the system. Crime and accident rates plummeted due to this, and society is on a tight leash. But some people argue that living in chains isn't really living at all. Life is all about taking risks and making progress, they say. Fight as they might, however, no movement has resulted in any change. Your worth in society is dictated solely by your score in the system. Generations later, managing your points is simply the norm. It is amazing how quickly we can fall into a habit or acceptance of that kind of thing. Acor, there was a German YouTuber that put wild and fall down into his title and video was yellow, so he put pony range in it. I'm sorry, I did not get that reference at all. You might need to put an example of it into Discord so I can have a look at it later. Figure it out. Yeah, you're kind of right. I wasn't going to say it out loud. Like, Elbow Juice, you've said the quiet part out loud there, I think. We're all just thinking that. Zonorix, you're back. You now have popcorn. Perfect. Settle down and enjoy, my friend. Today marks the 100th anniversary of Komorebi. Nothing has ever been the same since then, and I don't think it ever will be. The current state of technology and society is vastly different than it would have been. At the top of it all, right next to the world leaders, is the Argus Corporation. They created the system. There we go, it is corporate. Yay! Wonderful. It's not government, it's corporate. They create almost every device we use today, so it's not quite like China. In many ways, they affect our lives even more than those in power. The report is basically going over the history of Komorebi and Argus, but to be honest, it seems a little self-serving and very unnecessary. Isaac was right. It's like they just want to stroke their own egos. They made it mandatory viewing too. Ooh, watch the news or lose social credit. Ouch. If you ignore the special report, you'd lose some points. Yep, called it. Essentially, our social status is being held for ransom. But if there's one thing that nobody can monitor, it's what I'm thinking of. So while I'm watching, at least I have time to gather my thoughts. What are you thinking of? Wink wink, nudge nudge. I let out a soft sigh and everything suddenly feels better. It's crazy how much a quick mental breather can help. My last counselor is the one who taught me that. He told me that our mind is like an office of filing cabinets. Spider Macho, your power went out. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. Yes, you did miss a couple of name drops. Amra has been keeping track for you. We're up to 8 now. So you can pick up from there. To be fair, this is all very much like introductory scene setting stuff. I'm expecting a lot of those kind of name drops to help us get used to what's going on in this world. He told me that our mind is like an office full of filing cabinets. If we don't gather our thoughts, they just lay around, piling up. We need to set some time aside to process and filter them. Very good advice. Sometimes a simple metaphor that can really change the way you think. Unwanted thoughts can be thrown away like trash while you organize the rest. If our mind was a physical space, we'd never neglect it. We'd keep it immaculate. Well, most people would. There's always someone who's like, yeah, nah, I can't be bothered. It's in the corner. It's trash. It's fine. That's where I'll just keep, like... Everyone has a corner of their brain that is reserved for useless knowledge that nobody actually needs to know. Everyone's is different, but everyone's got it. It's that little piece of the mind that you keep aside until you finally bump into someone that also keeps that same little niche of knowledge set aside in the corner, and then the two of you connect in a way that you would never connect with anyone else over a shared love of whatever that niche thing is. Love it. Ah, dear. As if it was perfectly timed, the report ends alongside that train of thought. The energy level in the room immediately skyrockets now that we're free. Honestly, it was a waste. That was an hour we'll never get back. As I get up to leave for my appointment, I notice something peculiar. The report goes right into some sort of after show about more Argus stuff. I don't really care to watch, but I notice the word nostalgia. It's littered all over the place, like they want me to keep it in my mind. Unfortunately for them, I'm not in a nostalgic mood right now. I leave the house looking toward my ever brighter future. After all, why look back when the alternative is so exciting? That was ominous. Okay, nice opening, I like it. Something tells me these first few sessions will be a total bust. I never found it fun to talk about myself, and now I'm forced to do it. Oh man, I feel you on that one. Hopefully the notes my last counselor sent over will help him to get up to speed.
You know, you're something of an anomaly to me. Most people in your situation have less than stellar scores, but you seem to exist in the middle, a truly neutral ground.
Okay, yeah, setting us up as a blank slate so that we can make our decisions wherever we want then.
A preliminary look at your risk profile shows me almost nothing. But on the other hand, you haven't done much to gain points either.
Why would I? The system's a total sham. I don't believe in the system. Another ambiguous statement. Ask him if that was good or bad.
I don't know, actually.
Extreme middle ground.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's a little ironic, though, isn't it? In regards to the system, I mean. Your score is meant to define you as a person, yet you elude that definition.
Excellent. We're an anomaly. I don't think that text was meant to be down there, because that was actually him sighing. It played the sound. Oh well.
Then again, I'm no stranger to attracting those that go against the norm.
I know, Dracula.
Would you mind answering a few personal questions for me, Delta? Nothing too intrusive.
Ooh,
I just
okay.
want to get a feel for who you are.
Right, hopefully we actually get to make some decisions here. This could be fun. I nod, seeing no harm in this. It's why I'm here, after all.
Well then, let's start with the basics.
So this is our, second session now, and you still know absolutely nothing about me other than my social score? What kind of psych are you? We had an entire session, and you know nothing about me yet. Great. Love it. Was the first session just there to sign the paperwork then, maybe? Maybe. Graeldon, you're not a fan of visual novels. You only like text in visual novel style when it's just part of a bigger game. Yeah, no, I absolutely get that. It's fine. Visual novels not usually my jam either, but you know what? We're here. We're going to enjoy it. Yeah, absolutely. TNT PV in chat. Everyone got a comment whenever he's here. TNT PVT in chat.
Why did you move here? What did you leave behind? Big life changes like this are rarely without cause.
I shrug, unsure of where to start. You see, I think it all stems back to the relationship between myself and my mother. That's where everything stems from, anyway. Oh dear. That's what they, like any psych you talk to, that always comes back to, yes, but what was your relationship like with your mother? There was a lot to say and little time to say it. At least we have our first few sessions cut out for us. Ah, do we not get to make choices? Ah, such disappointment. This instantly dropped down from about an 8 to a 6. I'm sorry. The fact that we didn't even get to give our character a bit of personality makes me sad.
Welcome to the first of 4 fragment maps.
Okay.
This is how you will navigate through your personal experience. The top row is made up of pivotal fragments. You must complete all 6, but can complete them in any order.
That's an interesting way of doing things.
Upon completing all 6, you can interact with this arrow to move forward.
Okay, it's bumping back up to a 7 now.
You will witness a culmination of this fragment map before moving on to the next. The second row consists of personal heart-to-heart fragments.
That's an interesting touch that the background images move with the mouse, but the UI doesn't. I'm not sure if I like that or not.
These are optional, but highly recommended, as they are the key to forming bonds and relationships.
Ah, so you could play through the entire game without forming a relationship at all. Interesting.
Right now, you only have access to Isaac and Dante, but that will change in the next fragment map.
Okay, we're going to slowly introduce new characters.
The bottom row consists of supplemental fragments. These are skits based on exchanges made in your group's chat room. For your benefit, they will be portrayed just like any other fragment.
Fair enough.
Upon completing a pivotal fragment, you will unlock a journal entry.
These ones down the bottom remind me of like the support mechanic in the Fire Emblem games, which I adore. Just having those little moments between core characters to kind of, you know, flesh out their personality and backgrounds a little bit. That sounds interesting.
These explore Delta's personal thoughts as events slowly unfold. There will be 5 to unlock in each fragment map, and they unlock in a predetermined order.
Okay, fair enough.
Should you wish, you can also toggle the nostalgia filter.
What the hell's the nostalgia filter?
This will apply a vintage look to your experience.
Okay, sure, why not?
You are now ready to continue your journey unhindered. Check marks will appear beside completed fragments, so you can monitor your progress.
Okay, makes sense. I like the UI design in general. This is quite nice. But yeah, just got an entire button to add a sepia filter to it. I guess it's sort of like if you want to kind of like role play it from the perspective of like you're reliving this maybe through like your therapy sessions or something. So you're kind of, you're speaking to it after the events have actually occurred rather than in the moment of the events. So it's an interesting touch.
It is also recommended that you alternate between various fragment types.
Okay, yep, cool.
Enjoy, and make
No.
it an experience to remember.
Fight the system. I won't enjoy it. You can't make me. Oh dear. All right, nostalgia filter.
Would you like to change the status of the nostalgia filter?
Enable. Cool.
Would you like to change
I got an
the
achievement
status
for
of
that.
the nostalgia filter?
Awesome. All right, let's save here. Cool. All right. So this is where I would
Experience
like it
pivotal fragment.
if it actually
First
gave me
arrival.
something when I hovered over it to tell me what it is. I feel like, for simplicity's sake, we just start in the top left, we'll do this one, and then we'll jump down to here, and then maybe we'll have unlocked one of these, and we just kind of go like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, something like that. Yeah, it was just black and white in there. The legendary old button. Back in my day. Alright, yeah, let's start top left and go from there. we'll probably have time to play through a couple of chapters on here, and that should give us enough time to figure out if this is something that we want to see through to completion or not. Alright, let's begin.
Experience pivotal fragment. First arrival.
First arrival, let's do it. Whoa. Alright, sure. Ominous noise anytime we make a decision. Don't cry for yesterday, hope for tomorrow. Interesting way of framing it when you already know what tomorrow will bring for the majority of the population. I grabbed my bags from the trunk. An easy task as I made sure to pack light. The point of this journey was to leave my baggage behind, not carry it with me. Isaac steps in to help out, and I turn to face the house. My new home.
Well, what do you think?
Haven't been inside yet, I can't tell ya.
The pictures don't do it justice, do they? It has its quirks, but it served all of us just fine.
Yeah, I can actually control it with the keyboard, that's nice. It's beautiful, glad to finally be here. I wish it was better in the pictures, to be honest. I wish I had a place like this back at home. It's great, thanks for having me. That's very neutral. I would say it's beautiful, I'm glad to be here. That is a very nice looking modern house, and if I owned that, I would be very happy about it.
And we're glad to have you, Delta.
I made him blush.
We'll get along great. And it'll liven things up, too. Tell him I said this.
Not sure how to...
Living with Dante can get a little tiring.
Not sure how to pronounce your voice. Je suis Crespo? Welcome? That's alright if your eyes already hurt. That's fine. But yeah, welcome. It's gay furry visual novel. I don't know what to expect. I know nothing about this game. We're all in for a surprise here. We'll get along great, liven things up. Don't tell me to say this, but living with Dante can get a little tiring. I get that. Dante, I think, is definitely a bit tiring. He smiles at me before closing the trunk and locking everything up. I carry 2 of my bags while he carries the other 2. An equal team. We make our way back to the front door and place everything down in sync. I'm immediately getting the sense that Isaac is like the safe choice for a relationship, if that's where it's like wanting to go. It's not overly dominant in any like one personality trait. Very happy, like carefree. It's a very safe bet. Yes, thank you, Christopher. With science fiction elements, that's the most important thing. Actually, I'm going to reframe this in my mind. This is a sci-fi visual novel that just happens to have fairy characters and romance elements. Pretty sure that's the opposite of what this game actually is, but that's fine. That's what we're going with. Yeah, Isaac seems like the vanilla guy. That's fine. We make our way to the front door and place everything down in sync.
Hold on.
He pulls out his phone and holds it up against the entry scanner. A small beep sounds, and then a moment later, the door unlocks. At least the security system protecting this house was solid.
Welcome home, Isaac. You may leave the house 2 more times today.
What? What kind of bullshit is that? Oh my god. Like, I knew that they were doing the whole social credits thing, but that is a step further than I was expecting it to go. Oh, wow. That's something.
Remember, a good score makes a good citizen.
Oh my god. Imagine hearing that every time you get home from work or going out shopping or something. Remember, a good score makes a good citizen. I would be finding the mute button on like the internal house voiceover system as soon as possible.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, good shout, Zonorix. I reckon absolutely one of the love interests or one of the characters that we meet will be a hacker of some kind fighting back against the system. Absolutely. Yeah, alternative universe where it's not encouraged to touch grass, unless you have grass inside, because it's your safe space, and going outside is bad. That's where the dangerous things are.
I definitely muted this stuff the other day.
Ooh, there is a mute button.
Dante must have freaked out and removed my mods. Again.
Maybe we found the hacker already. He's saying he's put mods on it. The hacker was with us all along. That's true. Tampering with the system at home was a big deal. I don't think Isaac was up to anything shady though. He probably just likes silence. Typically, people would mess with the system when they had something worth hiding.
Well, let's get you settled. With how tired you were in the car, I guess you deserve a nap. But don't mess up your sleep schedule. You gotta watch that report tomorrow.
Oh god. Watch the report or lose social credit. I nod, and now that the door's open, we pick everything up. Using his shoulder to nudge the door open, we slowly enter the house. I've seen so many pictures of this place, but seeing it for real was incredible. Better be if we can only leave it twice a day. The living room is incredibly spacious. It looked much smaller when I saw it online. That's usually the opposite of how it goes. You look at the pictures online and go, look at all the room for activities, and then you actually get there and go, what is this? A room for ants? Well done if you get that reference. One thing that stands out to me, however, is the lack of integrated technology. It looks like a living room frozen in time around 30 years ago. Interesting. This sight, combined with how Isaac acted at the door, revealed one thing. He must not be a big fan of the system. Not everyone is, though. It's fine. I think it's actually cool how quickly you learn stuff about people after meeting them for real. Yeah, I'm with Isaac on this one. I can see Dante sitting on the couch engulfed in his phone. Isaac seems a little mad and confronts him immediately.
Hey, Dante, did you mess with those changes I made the other day? I thought I told you to play along with those. I do it for a reason.
Want some privacy, damn it. Dante's ears perk up and he immediately rises from the couch. I can tell he let his guard down, but he was eagerly awaiting our entrance. Whatever kind of first impression he was planning, his lack of awareness destroyed it.
Man, can't you see that I'm looking out for you? If they found out about your tinkering, they'd dock you points. Or worse. I'm sure Delta has my back here. Messing with Argus just isn't worth it.
Putting me on the spot the second after you meet me? Nice. I scratch my head and Isaac looks at me, likely expecting my support. Now, I am 100% on Isaac's side here. The system can get screwed. That's right. You're talking about someone else there, Echo. All good. Okay. Yeah, I'm on Isaac's side.
True, but it's only a matter of time before we're tried as accomplices.
Feign ignorance. It's fine. Knew nothing about
Argus
it.
may be many things, but forgiving isn't one of them. Look at how the zeros are treated. See what I mean?
Wow. All right. Well, that's how you know the system's been ingrained. Already referring to people by their social credit score. Yeah, look at how the zeros are treated. Don't hang out with the zeros. They're a bunch of losers. They're no good. Like, you don't want to be associating with the zeros. Wow. Just way to dehumanize people. I mean, it's a fairy society, but you know what I mean, right?
Let's just change the topic, all right?
Also, I love how the fur around his neck just makes it look like he's permanently wearing like a turtleneck sweater.
I know I brought it up, but I don't want our first meeting to be an argument. Besides, I work for Argus. I know what I'm doing when I make changes.
We've got a man on the inside.
If by work you mean enforce the system on others, then sure. You do a lot of things that you'd report other people for doing.
Interesting. So, I like that. Isaac's a bit of a hypocritical character. Works for Argus, the company that makes the system, therefore enforcing its rules and things on other people, but actively avoids it himself. Nice narrative device.
Hey, not fair. I may tamper with some hardware, but I never break laws.
You know, I mean, fair, if you work for them, you probably know just how precise the laws are.
You'd be surprised how much you can bend the rules without breaking
Exactly.
them. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but please, just trust me.
Skippy? You mean Slippy? Sleepy Toad? Slippy's dead. Slippy is always dead.
Fine. Still the best deal on housing I've come across. Can you at least tamper with the system and let us skip that report tomorrow? If you're gonna bend the rules, might as well do something practical with it.
That one toes the line way too much. I'll have to pass. It's only an hour. Just put in some earbuds or something.
Yeah, fair call. That'd be a harder one to work around, I imagine.
I'm gonna go help Delta unpack and get a bit of rest in.
All right, fair enough. But if Argus ever comes knocking, just know that I won't hesitate before turning you in.
I find the whole idea of, like, the entirety of a society being forced to watch a 1 hour report or you would lose social credit fascinating. Because even if you think about, like, Remembrance Day, having 2 minutes of silence is such a hard thing to do consistently. Yeah, it's just making everybody take 1 hour out at the same time. Like, you would have to work society around that. Can't schedule any surgeries at this time. We've got to watch a 1 hour report. Oh, someone was in a car accident. Can't take them in. Got to watch a 1 hour report. On your way to work at this point in time, better pull over on the side of the road, pull out your phone and watch a 1 hour report. What kind of world is that? Love it.
That eager to get me in handcuffs, huh?
Ooh, already getting a little spicy.
It's all part of the plan.
Dante steps forward with a laugh and holds out his hand.
I was hoping to hang out for a bit, but I get that you're tired. If you want to bond or whatever, you know where to find me.
I shake his hand and give him a soft nod. If we're going to be roommates, it makes sense to bond. I'll let him know I'll find him as soon as I get some shut-eye.
Perfect. And make sure to prod Isaac for me. He's way too tight-lipped about the nightclub outing this weekend.
I'm pretty sure that's going to cost you social credits going to a nightclub.
Hey! Thanks for ruining the surprise!
Your fault, keeping secrets from your friends like that.
Ouch. I shrug. I knew that Isaac would plan a party, but it's no big deal. Dante smirks at me and then returns to his spot on the couch. I've met people like him before. An agent of social chaos.
Your friend seems pretty cool, Isaac. Maybe I should start trusting you a bit more often. A group like us? Add Taylor to the mix, and we'll do great things.
Isaac scoffs, but then quickly displays a large smile as Dante becomes lost on his phone.
Head always in the clouds, that one. Almost prefer when he locks himself in his room to write.
Ooh, okay, a bit of an author.
Before we pick up your luggage, though, hold on a sec. This has been a long time coming in. I never got a chance to at the airport.
What's gonna happen? He steps forward and wraps his arms around me. Aww, hug time. I do the same and we stand there for a few moments in a tight embrace. I have no idea why this is the first time I felt it, but this really was the fresh start that I wanted.
Welcome home, Delta. And just like Dante said, great things.
Alright, so we've already got some kind of relationship with Isaac. I release the hug with a big smile on my face. Sonorix, I should make a visual novel one day. I think I would be horrible at it, and that's perfect. Yes. Look, if Bunny Hop Simulator visual dating novel exists, any other visual novel can exist and will be better than that by default. It just has to be. This was it. Finally, the start of my new life. I really should not have used that sound effect there. Could you just like, it's all positive and upbeat, like, this is it. Finally, the start of my new life. Dun dun dun! That's just, I don't feel good about this. Something's gonna go very, very wrong here. Alright, let's actually jump on the second one. I want to get a bit more feel for this world that we're in.
Experience pivotal fragment. Special delivery.
Nope. Special delivery in quotation marks. Wink, if you know what I mean. Hey, who ordered this pizza with extra sausage? Oh no. What's happening? Sometimes, finding yourself just means realizing how lost you really are. Okay. Yeah, why can't we romance the AI? I want the AI. Someone works for Apple by the looks of it. Or whatever, that Argus Corporation. This is Argus Corporation. Oh, wonderful. Okay, yeah, because this is laid out like in a very similar way to an Apple store with like the long tables full of devices. So is this trying to make some link between Apple and Argus? Surely it's not a coincidence that they both start with the same letter. I enter Isaac's store and I'm immediately taken aback by how fancy it is. The massive Argus Corporation logo at the back is kind of blinding though. I mean, at least it wasn't like so on the nose that they called it like the Pear Corporation. Yeah, the Argus logo is literally just an arrow. It's a blue arrow, which is the same as the cursor, actually. So we're playing this on Argus software, I guess. In spite of that, I make my way toward it and closer to Isaac. He stands behind the register, lost in thought. I could tell he was tired. That's why I have his box lunch in his hands. That's why I have his box lunch in my hands. He forgot it at home, and I wasn't busy. I was wow, sorry, I'm fumbling over the words today. Let me focus for a second. It was a pretty harmless delivery, all things considered. I'm sure it'd make him happy. Upon seeing me, his ears immediately perk up and the appearance of stress melts away.
Delta! Oh, what a lifesaver you are!
Damn straight.
The only thing worse than working is working on an empty stomach. I promise it won't happen again. I'm not normally forgetful like this.
Something's happened to make you forgetful. Is it my presence, maybe? No problem, you can always count on me. I'll take any excuse I can to spend time with you. Like, it's just so overly flirty. It's not, I would never say anything like that. But yeah, they're definitely trying to make this guy the most romanceable, at least so far. Just make sure it doesn't happen again. Didn't realize the move here just to be your courier. I'll never find a job with... Oh my... Okay. So this is where I have problems with the writing a little bit. So many of these are so cliched because they're trying to force a specific kind of mindset or personality on the player. They're like, oh, we have to have a response that makes the main character sound moody and depressed. We have to have a response that makes them make a joke out of everything. We need to have a response that will make them always have conflict with someone. We need to give them the opportunity to flirt at every possible moment. That's... If anything in the game so far, that's where I'm taking problem with it. The general conversational writing and narration is really good, but the conversational choices are lackluster. Like, it does not make sense to say any of that at this point in time. Right, no problem, you can always count on me. Again, maybe it's just my mindset, maybe you guys think differently, I think it's just me. Good to know, but I still won't make a bad habit out of it. Okay, cool.
Asking for favors isn't my strong suit, so I never know what to give in return. The party plans are making progress, though, so maybe that's a good start.
Yeah, sure. Make the most of that. That's fine. See, that's where I would want a response, where I have the opportunity to say something along the lines of, buy me a drink at the party and we'll call it even. That would be the kind of flirty line that I would want to say in response to that kind of scenario. Not earlier. Let them say something first, put them in a position where they owe me something, and then I can use that as a flirt opportunity. Yeah. There you go. Tips. He gives me a soft smile and turns back towards the computer. As he faces his work once more, the smirk turns into a grimace. It was almost like his worries melted away as we spoke. Flattering.
You'll never guess what happened. 10 of my installations this month have backfired.
How many installations did you do? Because if you did 10, that is not good statistics, my friend.
That means the people who bought them made illegal modifications.
Like you did?
Basically, I lose the commission. Normally, I don't care, but 10 in a row?
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Maybe they were yours. Yeah, it's not racist. The word Riz is just... It's a terrible word. It's a terrible word for a terrible generation. I shouldn't say that. There's always good eggs. Riz is just a weird one.
Something is clearly going on.
He strokes his chin, like he's lost in thought. Yes, thinking about that party. He's distracted. We're too close. It's odd how he hates when people mod their gear, but he does it all the time. I decide to ask him more about why. Nobody's around to spy or anything.
Not just modifications, Delta. Illegal modifications.
Okay, I mean, that's an interesting moral line to draw, but yeah, I get it.
What I do is harmless, and I still follow the terms of service. These people are actively causing harm, using the tech to aid in crimes and stuff.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty likely outcome. Right. Isaac wouldn't be the type of person to commit a crime. Yeah, I agree.
Besides, Argus wouldn't care if they found out about my mods. That's why we have zeros. you can basically abandon the system entirely.
And it sounds like it's about damn time we did.
So when I mute an AI or change the colors of lights, it's nothing. I'd like to think that Argus has bigger problems. I mean, they clearly do.
Absolutely. If you got people that are using it for nefarious purposes, then yeah, you got bigger problems. Makes sense to me, and now I understand why Isaac's house is so under-equipped. Why implement invasive technology in your home if you don't have to, right? A very good commentary on our current society. Everything recording, voices, imagery, all the rest of it. You could stick to the bare minimum, just enough to satisfy Argus.
I still feel like trash, though. It's my job to detect potential fraud. They slipped through my fingers, so I enabled their crimes. Argus can dock me points for that. Such a stupid rule.
That is kind of a stupid rule. That hardly seems fair. None of it seems to fit Isaac either, and it's odd. A man peddling wares he doesn't support or even use in his own life? Willingly giving Argus eyes and ears everywhere except his own home? I vocalize these thoughts and he shrugs.
A job is a job. That's what I always say.
And hey, you working here so you can learn more about the technology.
Besides, it could never hurt to stay on Argus's good side. Climb the ladder, and you won't be there when they tip it over.
But you will be at the top of the ladder when society rebels and tips it over, and you cop the blame for enabling invasive technology and this kind of surveillance behavior. So it's a double-edged sword, mate. Not quite thinking that through.
I like working around people, too. And I mostly sell phones, anyway.
Confirmed, this is Apple.
Big-scale installations like vehicles and home security are few and far between. Can't argue with selling a kid their first phone, though. Connecting them to the world.
Yeah, I get that. That's fair. I'd be a bit conflicted if I were in his situation, though. Argus has never done anything wrong, but they're still feared by a portion of the world. Working for them could be seen as working for the enemy by a lot of people. Argus is so secretive about everything they do, it's hard not to theorize. It could be solved by some more transparency, but they're never willing to offer that. Something about a mysterious corporation running the world seems to strike more obedience.
Hey, Delta. Let me see your phone.
Ooh, we're gonna get it modded? Yes, please. Huh?
Come on. I promise not to scroll through your gallery.
Whoops, one sec, let me just delete. Okay, yep, here you go, yep, that's fine, nothing on there.
No one ever does. Seriously though, phone up.
I shrug and hand him my phone, after I deleted everything. Just like, can I see your phone? One sec, factory reset. I'm glad that I upgraded last month. Isaac seems to notice my brand new model. Wow, conforming to a society, yay! He looks around the store to make sure nobody's watching. Then, a second later, he runs the phone along some sort of scanning device.
Wanna know what I just did?
Did you just jailbreak the phone? Can I now run Android? That'd be nice. He throws my phone back at me. Thankfully, I catch it.
I just stole your identity.
No, you didn't. What?
Rule number 1, never hand over your phone. Even if it's someone you trust, it's just not worth it. One simple scan, and I can do almost anything I want.
Yeah, Delta definitely shrugs a lot, but it's meant to, you're meant to be able to portray yourself through this, non-committal to a lot of things. Way more along for the ride than anything else.
I could put your info on a new phone, impersonate you online. I could even overwrite the info on your current phone, change your identity.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But I'd never do anything like that. Probably.
Before I can do anything, he starts laughing.
I'm just screwing with you, Delta.
Called it.
I never mess around with important stuff like that.
Nice touch, though.
I did a few things that might help you out while you look for a job, though. Play along with what I'm about to say. I need an excuse for the computer.
He clears his throat and starts using an acting voice, like he's playing a part. Ah, yes. It's the, what's it called? The retail customer service persona. Everyone knows that one. Smile comes on. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you today.
Terribly sorry for the inconvenience. Argus values you more than that.
Uh-huh.
The next 6 months of all Argus-related subscription services are on the house.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Not only that, but all Argus-associated venues will be 20% off.
I see what's happening here. So, oh, you made a complaint. Here's our special pricing and services. Oh, so Lucifer, nice. Oh, is the dev here? I don't think so. I haven't seen a comment from them. I might have missed it though. If they are here, whoops, apologies.
Is there anything else I can do for you at this juncture?
He winks at me and I'm not sure what to do or how to take what just happened. I appreciate the gesture, but there's no way what he did was allowed. He said he'd never break the law though. I trust him despite the anxiety. No. See, he didn't break any laws there. That was just what happens when you complain to a customer service rep and ask for a manager. They go, oh yeah, no, we'll get you some extra discounts. It's like how the best thing to do when you're on a phone plan and you feel like you're paying too much for your data, phone calls, text, whatever, is to actually call them up and be like, hey, I'm thinking of changing to a different carrier. And they'll go, right, well, if you're thinking about leaving, we can get you a better rate to convince you to stay. You should always do that. Here's an you're curious to know if the VAing is AI or not. You're assuming it's not because it sounds really good. I'm pretty sure the AI here is not. Sorry, the AI here. The voice over here is not AI. I think there is a full list of voice actors in the credits and on the Steam page that you can read through. And they've actually got some, I believe, some relatively well-known people who are actually doing the voice acting. Alright. There's no telling what may come from this. I just wanted to do a good deed, and now I feel immoral. Completing the opposite of what I desired, I leave Isaac with his meal. Maybe we'd have time to talk about this later. It's fine. He just gave you a special discount. It's just the manager's discount. Don't worry about it. Alright. Let's dive in and spend some time with Isaac, shall we? And then we'll go back to the one up there.
Experience heart-to-heart fragment. Isaac 1.
Heart fragment. Ooh. Let's do it. Okay. How spicy is this going to get? I wonder. I enter the living room and notice Isaac sipping a light beer. Of course he is. If Isaac's a Bud Light guy, I can't have him be the romantic interest. Just no. The TV is on, but he's not really watching it. I can tell he's distracted. There's something he needed to talk to me about. I hope I didn't do anything wrong. He just likes you, that's all. He notices my entrance and smiles at me. Some anxiety immediately dissipates. Shifting a bit more to one side of the couch, he gives me ample space to sit beside him. That's exactly what I do, and he turns to face me as much as he can while sitting down.
Ugh. You know, this stuff tastes awful. But I wouldn't be drinking it if Taylor didn't tease me. I know
he's
it's
not a Bud Light
true,
guy.
But he keeps talking about my weight.
Hang on, how are these things related? He takes another sip of the beer.
We did buy tons of junk food for this weekend, though. If I take it easy during the week, I can definitely binge on Friday.
Okay. Concerned about his appearance and figure.
Might as well take
Okay.
action before something becomes a problem, right?
See, this is what I more mean. Like, this is giving me just one choice, something to say that's in character. That's fine. Odd thing to say while drinking a beer at 2 p.m.
True. Sometimes we just replace one problem with another. But don't worry. I care too much about work to do something like that.
Background music's lovely.
I only
by the
drink
way.
on days off, and I always make sure to pace myself.
Okay, responsible.
Except this weekend, though. Moderation goes out the window.
Why this weekend? Is this for the party? What's
I haven't
happening
been
here?
to a nightclub in ages. I'm actually kind of
Okay,
nervous.
yes, the nightclub thing. Don't think it. We'll have the time of our lives. You're cool. You're going to fit in fine. I feel the same way. Let's be awkward together. Kind of figured you were too cool to be nervous. Interesting. No, it's a welcome nightclub visit, apparently, because that's what you do when you've got a person who's new to a city. You invite them out to a nightclub on their first weekend. Alright, maybe people do actually do that. It's not something that would be high on my things to do scale. I'm kind of the person that's like, oh, I'm in a new city, new environment, and I will go out and do all the touristy stuff first. See the sights, see the sounds. Guess I'm not a nightclub person. But still. Alright, we'll go along with it. Honestly, I'd probably go number 3 here. I feel the same way. Let's be awkward together. Because he's feeling a little awkward. It'll lighten the tone a little bit. I don't want to put pressure on it. Like, make it sound like it has to be the time of our lives. So, we're going with this one.
And now there's something I can play along with. Stand in a
Got
corner and watch everyone else have fun.
That's more my kind of mood. And then, hey, we can stay in the corner together and we can talk. Be fine.
Wouldn't want to intrude and start cramping their style.
He takes one final chug, then crushes the can in his hands to show his dominance. There's a bit of an awkward silence after he does this, but I'm not sure why. I ask him why he wanted to meet me here and ask him if I did something wrong.
Oh, no, not at all. I guess I should have elaborated when I said I wanted to talk. Sorry if you were worrying. I'll handle it better in the future.
I mean, that's kind of like social lesson 101. Unless you've got a really good reason, never say to anyone, can you meet me at this place at this time? We need to talk. Just the line, we need to talk, will immediately make the other person defensive, put their guard up, make them worried about what the conversation's going to be. It's really not a good line to use. And especially if you're going to be making them wait more than 24 hours. Because that's the kind of stuff that gets in your head and makes you wonder what the hell you did wrong. You're suddenly like looking back at the last 10 years of your life to figure out what you might have done to offend this person. Just give them some context at least as to what the conversation's going to be about. Don't just say, we need to talk. Say, let's meet up. We need to have a conversation about X or Y. Yeah, who died? Just, it's such a trope that you see in novels, TV shows, movies. Just be like, we need to talk. Like, God, alright, sure, whatever. Give me a panic attack. Graeldon, what is my favorite insect? I'm not sure where that question's come from, but, let me think. Favorite insect? Dragonfly. There you go. I refuse to elaborate. You finished your Coke craze. Sweet and spicy or mango pineapple tea? Go for the mango pineapple tea. That sounds lovely and refreshing. Zunrix, you like insects? Okay, fair. How dare I not say weevils? I grew up on a farm where we had an orchard with like cherries and other fruits and things like that. Weevils were our worst nightmare. The amount of damage they would do to produce, make it unsellable or fit for consumption, is absolutely atrocious. So, sorry, no, not a fan of weevils. Praying mantis, kind of cool, kind of metal. Other ones that are up there are things like pill bugs. Love those little guys. Roll up in a little ball and off they go. They're kind of fun. Other insects kind of cool. Trying to think. Rhino beetles. They're pretty awesome. But yeah, insects in general, if I had to put them on a scale, insects better than spiders for sure. Yeah, I'll take it that way. Arachnids are horrible, horrible creatures. Don't like them. Guess you elaborate what you want to talk. Okay, yeah, fair. Thank you for apologizing. I appreciate that.
I actually wanted to apologize to you, Delta. Your first memory of this house will always be me yelling at Dante.
Yeah, but it gave me a chance to stand by your side, and I appreciated you helping me.
He just struck a chord with me. Has a habit of doing that almost every day.
You should just like get a room and figure it out.
He's always paranoid that Argus will come knocking. But the mods I made to my home are harmless. They'd never care.
You keep saying that, but you don't seem to have any evidence of that.
It's more risky for him to remove my modifications. He could easily screw up, and it's all downhill from there. Do anything wrong when you're messing around, and they'll notice. It's like a tightrope. One wrong move, and you're done for. My brain is wired to mess with this stuff. His is not.
Sounds pretty dicey either way. I tell him it's fine. We all have things that we're passionate about.
Passionate. Yeah.
Fair.
That's the word. I got a little mad, but my intentions weren't bad, you know? I've worked with this tech for my entire life. I know my way around it.
Spider Macho, how would a spider fairy even work? Don't Google it. Just don't Google it. Just don't Google it. There are some questions that you don't want the answers to. But what I will say, Rule 34 of the internet. If you can imagine it, someone's probably drawn it. Let's put it that way. Alright. You got a bit mad, tensions went bad, you know, worked with his entire life, yeah.
That'd be like me going into his room and messing with his writing. You know, making edits here and there so that I feel better about it. I just want mutual respect for my hobby and career.
Fair. It makes sense. Isaac definitely seems to know what he's doing. From my understanding, the amount of Argus tech in this home is minimal. But at the same time, it's not illegal. Bend the rules without breaking them, he says.
I guess it's selfish to a degree, though. Because I own this house, I should make sure that everyone feels safe. This situation sucks. I just want to leave all that Argus stuff back at work.
I mean, that's fair. You deal with it enough at work, you wouldn't have to deal with it every single time you're at home as well.
It's purely psychological, but to me, Argus is my boss.
Well, I mean, they're the ones that control the system and the social rules. They're kind of everybody's boss in a way.
Nobody wants to go back to a house where their boss
And
is
yet?
everywhere. Keeping that stuff to a minimum really helps my home feel like it should. A safe place.
He shrugs.
At
A lot of
least to
shrugging.
me. But I really should consider other people's point of view. I'll just end up like Argus if I expect everyone else to live how I want.
Ooh, already being influenced.
Speaking of which, there's something else I wanted to talk about. I mean, it's the real reason I asked you to meet me here today.
The apology wasn't the real reason? Interesting.
All this talk about how I want things to be, let's change that.
Ooh, opportunity for spiciness I sense incoming.
There's something I've been meaning to ask you, Delta. And I wish I had more beer for this. More courage.
Well, maybe you should have saved one for me. He blushes and rubs the back of his head. Ah, he's nervous. I'm pretty sure I know where he's going with this. At least all signs support my current hypothesis. Wow, I'm just going to be scientific and analytical about this, alright.
I just feel like we should get this out of the way as soon as possible. The feeling of tension in the air is starting to damage my calm. But let's face it, you chose to move here. To live with me. Did you
I did indeed.
mean anything by that, Delta?
Okay, implying it but not saying
This
it.
was a lot easier in my head. Really, I'm just curious if you were interested in me.
Okay, the voice acting is pretty good here, doing a good job of portraying, like, the nervousness of it all. Nicely done.
I hope this isn't catching you by surprise. We've been friends online for a while, after all. And moving in here is a pretty big gesture.
He inches a bit closer to me and he seems much more calm. Yeah, I haven't, like, reacted instantaneously in an awful way. I guess now that it's out in the open, his anxiety is disappearing. It's never easy to bring up that kind of thing he just brought up.
I'm curious if the gesture was supposed to mean anything.
I love this. Like, he's said several things along these lines of being like, did you mean anything by coming in here? Because, like, it's kind of a big thing. Like, was there any, like, undertones here? Were you kind of, like, trying to, like, imply something? And I'm just sitting in silence being like, I'm not saying jack shit.
Either way, I'm
Still
fine.
going.
I just couldn't stop myself from wondering. But if we do go out, expect me to be incredibly awkward.
This does seem a bit sudden, but it's also natural. There's always been chemistry between us, and now we live together. It crossed my mind a few times, but it's clearly racing through his.
No matter what, though. Friends until the end.
That's ominous, putting the end in red. Alright, first time to see what we want to do. We've got a decision to make. Do we dive in? Do we not? So far, he is best boy. So far. But I mean, we haven't really met many other characters yet. So, we could try being more than friends, ... wink, 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 nudge, 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 say no more, say no more. Or, let's give it time, it's too soon to tell. The game does have polyamory, by the way, so you can date multiple people. Alright, sure. We've got 2 votes for diving in. I'm not going to put it to a poll, so I actually don't know how many people are hanging out in chat at the moment. Can't see that. But it seems like some people are pretty keen for this. I don't mind. We can dive in, see what happens. I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to say no later on if we're not feeling it. I don't think we're going to be permanently locked in from the very first moment we choose with someone. I'd be very surprised if that was the case. Alright, any other thoughts, people? Yay or nay? Do we dive in? Do we not? Ice Fresdom, tough decision. Yeah, I like the later characters more. Lucifer. I was not expecting that. Wow. Yeah, it's only been a day. You know what? Let's go for it. We can always say no later and break his heart. Why not?
Glad to hear it, Delta.
Oh, wow. Got an achievement for that straight away. Jeez. That was quick.
Took a real shot in the dark, but my aim was on point. You're willing to try, and that actually means a lot to me.
Place a hand on the top of my leg.
The world could use
Wow.
more people like you.
Okay. You're even a little fast for me there.
Willing to embrace new experiences, new people even. Everyone else seems to be a creature of routine these days.
I mean, I feel like you are a little bit as well.
Argus has made sure of that one.
Okay, interesting.
But sometimes a routine is more like a prison. So, let's embrace our freedom. Let's drink beer at 2 p.m.
He smirks and stands up from the couch. I say why not, and accept his offer to share a beer. The air is clear, and it seems like we can carry on like normal.
Alright, but let's not do this every day. Next time we'll go to the coffee shop and hang out. You know, it could be our first date, or whatever.
Yeah, cliche but cute. He leaves the room to retrieve some more beer. I feel like our bond will become stronger because of what just happened. Not only did I learn a lot about him, but we made our situation more clear. This is another milestone in my new life. Every interaction I have while I'm here will settle me in even more. It doesn't feel like a home just yet, but every second does more to change that. Dun dun dun! Jeez. Alright, I do want to play through a little bit more, hopefully meet some more, like at least one more character. Let's see how much further we can get. Probably play for about another hour and then we'll call it after that. Yeah, it's such an ominous transition sound. I don't know why they picked that. Also, why is the
View
journal
which
highlighted?
journal entry?
Journal entry number 1. Ah, that's kind of cute. Get a little bit of the history. Okay. Sunday, December 15th, 2041. Someone said this was set in 2077. It's not. So this is basically saying that within the next, 17 years, society is going to completely change into furries. I'm going to write on the sides like a true rebel. Nice. Nothing of meaning, just writing about being a rebel. I finally moved in with Isaac. Wow, that feels weird to say. I've been dreaming of a new start for such a long time. Now that it's here, it feels kind of surreal, like a dream. Dreams are good though, especially when the alternative is a nightmare. But I don't think I'll have to worry about that. I may worry about Dante though. He seems to disregard a lot of Isaac's wishes, and their personalities clash all the time. But they seem to use that as a springboard to become closer instead of an excuse to drift apart. I feel like we could all learn a thing or two from that. Isaac added me to the group chat and I got to talk with Taylor for the first time. We're going to try organising an outing in a few days so I can meet him for real. He's a pretty popular streamer, actually. I could even tell from the energy he exuded over text that there was something special about him. I wouldn't throw the term born entertainer around easily, but he's definitely a born entertainer. I could tell he's a bit cautious about his public image, though. He kept telling Isaac and Dante not to fight, since he didn't want any scandals on his shoulders. That's a ticking time bomb, though. I've only been here for one day, and I can already tell that getting Dante and Isaac to stop teasing each other is a fool's errand. When I write about these people, I feel happy. I definitely made the right choice. Aww. Cute. Also, I think that's the longest stretch of text that I've got through without stumbling over anything so far, so yay, go me. Tyno, what's that? What that's... There we go! There's the stumble. Had to happen. Ty knows what that's like. Half the time when I'm reading through scripts for doing the voiceovers for the regular videos, it's like, sentence 3 times in a row because I keep fumbling the words. It's always good fun. Alright, let's do a little bit more plot, shall we?
Experience pivotal fragment. Meeting Taylor.
Hey! That was good timing. Alluded to Taylor, and then we're going to go meet him. Nice. Someone out there wants to be you, just as much as you want to be others. Interesting little bits of poetic advice. I spy in the back of my background a little Minecraft reference right there. Hello, hello, hello. We have, under food, Minecraft bread, $6. We also have Majira strawberry for an unknown amount of money. Under tea, we have Earl Grey, chai, witty cherry, and I always pronounce it wrong. I think it's supposed to be called like a Royboy. A couple of different coffee types. Don't see anything there. I don't know what lungo is. What the hell is lungo? Special salted caramel, pumpkin latte. I think that says latte infernal or inferno. It's infer something. And then a nice chai latte, which is the best drink on the entire menu. I sit at the table with Isaac and Dante, slowly chipping away at my dinner. In a cafe? What's going on here? Hang on. Oh, you forgot your tea in the kitchen. Go grab it, Gray. Eating as a group isn't something we do every day, but today was special. I finally get to meet Taylor. He's pretty busy, so I've only seen him in the group chat. I know he's a streamer and an internet personality, but I don't know much else. It's cool that someone popular like him was taking the time to hang out with me, though. I've heard a lot about the guy, so I signed up for this group outing with no hesitation. I'm told this is the spot for our group. Whenever they want to hang out, it's usually here. Apparently, they have the best hangover breakfast, too.
Damn, Delta, you're inhaling that.
Yeah, I am very, very hungry.
Can't tell us we're exaggerating anymore then. This is the best place in town. Full stop.
Yeah, definitely excited to come here Saturday morning. It's part of your master plan, isn't it?
Sounds like we might need to.
Hey, nice try, Dante. No more info till Taylor gets here. And even then, we should let him and Delta get to know each other.
That's very kind of you.
Don't you think the nightclub would be better for that? You know how Taylor gets after a couple drinks.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Total lightweight, that one.
Ouch. Before anyone else can talk, Taylor steps in.
Hey, is that a compliment or an insult?
What up with the ears, dude? Oop, probably shouldn't say it as the first thing. Whoops, that's impolite.
Yes.
With a scoff, he sits down beside me and holds out a fist. I bump mine against his, and then he lets out an exaggerated yawn. Resting one arm on the back of the booth, it felt like he was about to pull me in.
Ah, nice to meet you, Delta. Even prettier in person.
I am just not a fan of that face. Something about the face combo with the hair and the ears just is not sitting right for me. I'm sorry for anyone that does like this character. It's just, it's not sitting right for me. Yeah, I think not a dog. I think some people are right. I think it is a rabbit or like a fennec fox or something. But, facial characteristics, fine. I think it's just the hair and ear combo that's throwing me off. Like I'm expecting longer hair to match the longer ears. I don't know. Anyway, what do I want to say? Really glad to finally meet you, Taylor. Same goes for you. Way prettier. Can you please move your arm? I don't want to be abrasive straight away. But I mean, he's basically just sat down and stretched out and put an arm kind of behind me straight away. Like, that's a very ballsy move to make. Alright. We're gonna play it cool, though. We're gonna play it cool. Really glad to finally meet you, Taylor.
Long overdue, I'd say.
Okay, I know that's meant to be like a blush/awkward expression, but with the hands, it just looks kind of creepy. Not feeling
Pretty
it.
busy, but I'm making sure this weekend is clear. Let's share a drink at the club, all right? I feel like we'll hit it off.
Still your goal to flirt with all my friends, I see.
I'm getting pretty good at it, too.
Alright, so he's the confident guy. He moves his arm from where it was and then points at the table. There we go. Moved it naturally anyway. A pair of headphones rest in front of Dante. They get Taylor's attention.
Those the headphones my chat bought you?
Oh, yeah.
And he kept his end of the bargain, Isaac? No more loud music keeping you up at night?
Surprisingly, he did.
I am enjoying the interactions between them as a group, though. That's quite nice.
Perfect. No more fighting now, you hear me? Someone's got to keep you kids in line. Anyway, let's get down to business. This whole nightclub thing, I looked at their website and not a single special event is listed.
Sounds dodgy.
Yeah, this is private. Just for us. That means the whole news thing probably won't happen. But the other plans haven't changed. We still have an open bar.
I like the comment, Santa. He sure dresses like a streamer. Plain shirt and hoodie. Yeah. Look, if I'm going to be on the stream, I'm going to dress comfy. Also, I am wearing, I don't know if you can see it there, but I am wearing my Final Fantasy shirt. So it's not quite a plain shirt. It's got something on it. Okay. We still have an open bar. Nice.
Perfect. That's all I cared about anyway.
Wait, what happened? That's a pretty big change to gloss over, man. Why was the media even a possibility in the first place?
Oh, right. My bad. They never announced the event, so nobody knows they canceled it. The plans that I have are still in full effect, though. Don't worry.
Does this mean the nightclub's going to be empty? It's just going to be like the four of us hanging out?
And those are...
I'm introducing all of you to a new friend. He's in town, and he said drinks are on him.
Ooh, okay. Excellent, excellent. New friend.
That's all you get, though. The rest is a surprise. For real.
Someone they know, celebrity.
There's more? That seems like all of it to me. A friend is visiting and buying us drinks. You timed it with Delta's arrival, too.
I'm starting to like Dante a little more here.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Isaac lets out a nervous laugh and rubs the back of it. Now he's hiding something. There's more to it. I can tell that he's acting. There's a bit more to his plans for sure.
Oh, I've got it. I know who we're meeting.
Huh?
Isaac went and got himself a sugar daddy. I guess Argus isn't paying good enough anymore.
That is not where I thought that was going. Nice.
What? No!
That makes perfect sense, actually. Unless you'd like to prove us wrong.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Nice try. It's not going to work. Just wait until Friday.
This is a nice group
It's not
dynamic.
even that far away. Speaking of which, you're all still down to pregame?
Sounds good to me. I'm making a big list of snacks, too.
Great. I'll pick up some of the booze and juice. Let's get started around 4 p.m. Sound good?
Okay, sure.
Day drinking?
Yeah, day drinking.
Day drinking.
A moment later, the server comes and hands us all our bills. I'm kind of surprised that day drinking doesn't deduct social credit. Like, you open your fridge and it just goes, please do not remove a beer. It is not past 5 p.m. yet. Like, if there's that level of technology going on at the moment that it can monitor you going in and out of your house a set number of times per day, I'm kind of surprised that the consumption of alcohol has not also been locked down. Like, it's just I feel like they've kind of flexed the rules a little here for the reality. And maybe the drinks are off grid, maybe. Welcome. It's a gay fairy vision novel. Absolutely. A moment later, the server comes back and hands us our bills. I notice that mine has the discount Isaac assigned to my identity. This is probably a good time to ask him more about it. It still feels wrong.
Oh, he did that to you as well?
You fooled me too, I gotta admit.
Yes, we're all getting the manager's discount.
All of that stuff is just taken out of his paycheck. And if it's not, he's just abusing his friends and family discount. He's definitely not as dark and brooding as you think.
Look, at the end of the day, if you're going to work for a big corporation like that, you'd expect to be able to have some perks you can take advantage of.
Thanks for ruining it, dude. I just wanted to be nice and impress Delta.
Yeah, where did I see the comment there? Yeah, maybe the drinks are off the grid. Gray, easy, just don't put it in the fridge. Yeah! I mean, look, I don't particularly like beer at the best of times, but even then, a cold beer is far better than a room temperature beer. That's just disappointing. Spider Macho, can you explain to LM what a sugar daddy is? No. I mean, yes, I can. No, I'm not going to. For those that we need to keep in mind, Amra is younger. So there are certain things I'm just not going to go into detail on. You'll figure that one out later on. Yeah, exactly. Always have to keep in mind that not everyone in these streams, chats, social things are going to be of age. So that's fine. Thanks for it too. Just want to be nice and impress Delta.
Besides, it's a valid cover-up. Nobody really wants to accept pity money.
Yeah, Bits drink warm beer. I'm not a Brit though. And warm beer is just gross. The fact that I'm jobless now is more apparent than ever. Please don't take that out of context. I appreciate Isaac's gesture, but I did save up a lot before moving. It helped me out, but it wasn't necessary. I thank him just to clear the air.
No problem. Glad to know you appreciate it. I always want to help, no matter how it comes across. It just felt better to remove any chance of offending you.
He glances at Taylor as he says that. I'm assuming he didn't react well to Isaac's pity money, but I can actually understand how that would wound someone's pride.
Well, I've come to love it, trust me. But right now, there's an even bigger dilemma at hand.
He opens the menu and looks it up and down.
Just what do I order?
Hang on, didn't we just get the bill already? Or was it just the bill for us? Oh no, because Taylor just got here, so he's not purchased anything yet. That's fine. Okay, cool. Nice way to intro them. Alright. I reckon, because these are fairly short, we should be able to do the last 3 of these scenes up the top before we finish up here.
Experience pivotal fragment. Locked out?
Oh no. Did we get locked out of our home already? If so, that's kind of disappointing. The safety of the past is the greatest treasure that we can never possess. Rose-tinted glasses and all that. Some lovely art. Although this starts to feel more AI generated. Like, what is the text here? Dundas? Something incomprehensible on a sign, and then just MER over on the side of some kind of shop. The rest of the buildings and things look fine. I mean, again, if it's concept art, it's probably just placeholder text. But that's where I look at it and I go, that's a little more questionable. Ah, Lucifer, yeah, the best alcoholic drink you've tried is mead. If you've never tried mead, you should. I have tried mead before. Mead is pretty good. I'm more of a cider person myself. Beer just has a flavor that I am not a fan of. It's not good. Not good. We leave the grocery store, our hands full of bags. It was mostly booze and assorted junk food. You know, the usual. It took a couple of hours, but Isaac and Taylor were there to make it easier.
That's everything, yeah?
I think so. Dante made the list, though. I'll just blame him if we forget anything.
Ah, that sounds good to me.
Classy.
Isaac walks over to the driver's side door and tries to open it. A moment later, he looks up, giving us an embarrassed smile.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Speaking of classy, please don't hate me for this.
Isaac, you didn't.
I did.
We're locked out. Taylor groans and places his bags on the ground. I'm a little confused, but I quickly realize what's going on. Isaac locked his keys in the car. I guess we're stuck. That's actually harder and harder to do these days. If you have even a semi-modern car, they usually have some kind of safety system built in, so that if it detects the car keys inside the vehicle, when the car is locked, it automatically unlocks, so that you can actually get the keys back out again. It's only real old models of cars that do that. So either this is a problem that they somehow have not managed to fix by the year 2040 whatever, or Isaac drives a really freaking old car. Yeah, how Argus has solved everything, like in terms of like usual technology. How have they not fixed this yet? Come on. If you can unlock your front door to your home with your phone, how are keys getting locked in a car still a problem?
And you insisted on using this dated piece of junk.
Maybe it is an old
If
car.
you had more refined taste, you could just whip out your phone.
I do have refined taste, and it's not dated, it's vintage.
There we go. Should have seen that coming, actually, because that is in line with what we know about Isaac, and that he tries to avoid having too much technology in his life. So, actually, narratively speaking, it does make some amount of sense.
It's sketchy is what it is.
You say that, but you'll thank me for having it one day.
Well, Theo, they haven't invented teleportation yet, so you still need some kind of transit.
Oh yes, of course. I'm so grateful that you stranded us in the middle of the city.
That day is not today.
Taylor sighs, his annoyance almost exaggerated.
Well, looks like we're walking. This is Isaac's mess. Let him stay and fix it.
Why don't we just get an Uber?
Nah, I'm actually gonna walk with you. I'll have to grab some tools from my workshop. Thankfully, this isn't the first time I've locked myself out.
I mean, I am with you on that one, Theo. More people should be using public transportation because it is just better in general. But it only really works if the public transportation is good and worth using. It's a double-edged sword. You can have a society that has a high demand for public transportation, but if you don't have sufficiently high quality public transportation to meet that need, then still nobody will use the public transportation. You need to meet both ends of it realistically. But yeah, when you look at, like, I'm a big fan of like the walkable cities kind of concept, and the fact that you shouldn't have to have a car to get anywhere. I have a car. I use it very, very rarely because I can take public transit to and from work, and it takes pretty much just as long as it takes to be in a car. Slightly longer, but it's on par. And I get to sit around and do nothing. I don't have to focus on the drive and not worry about other idiots on the road. I can chill out on my phone and play games or write scripts for upcoming videos and things like that. So yeah, I am a big supporter of public transportation. Absolutely. However, Theo, I'm the opposite with you on that one. I don't refuse to get a driver's license because there are still some things that you need a driver's license for. If I want to go for a holiday and take a road trip somewhere that public transport cannot get me to, I need a driver's license for that. Or an accident happens and I need to be able to meet my wife at work or something like that. There are times where you need a driver's license and access to a vehicle for whatever reason. Again, depending on where in the world you live and all the rest of it. But a good example is, like, I literally could not get to my parents' place in Australia because there is no public transit that goes there, or at least like the nearest regional public transit stop would still be about 2 hours walk from where their house is, because they live in the countryside, right? So at the end of the day, public transit, great, very useful. More people should use it. Most cities need a better version of it, but you do also require a car for a lot of circumstances. Anyway, that is a complete tangent to where we are. But realistically, like where I grew up in the countryside, you got your driver's license as soon as possible because otherwise you could not go anywhere at all. It's just the reality of things. All right, so they're grabbing tools from the workshop. Not the first time it's happened. Okay.
Thankfully.
Yeah, Always makes a good story to tell.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Why not just get a new car? You know, one that follows regulations.
Because I'm just made of money.
Welcome, LOL, and also welcome, Luke C. Wolf. There's a couple of names here that I don't recognize from other ones, so if this is your first time here, welcome. We are playing Komorebi. It's a dystopian sci-fi visual novel about Argus Corporation, who basically invented something called the System, which is instilling almost a China-esque level of social credits into the world by controlling technology, privacy, surveillance, and all the rest of it. And there also just happens to be gay, furry, visual novel dating elements as well. But we're here for the sci-fi and the world building and the lore. Absolutely. Again, games that are featured on stream here are selected by the community and voted on. This is how we ended up here. Welcome. He scoffs and walks back towards us. Taylor picks up his bags and we start walking in the right direction. With all this added weight, it'll take a couple of hours to get back home.
I guess I'm coming over to your place
Just get
now.
an Uber.
Good thing I didn't have
Come
a
on.
stream plan today.
Luke C. Wolf also go by K. Lace or Clace, who doesn't have the best reputation in the furry fandom. Oh, it's also by Clace. Right, gotcha. Graeldon getting through this gives me some hope. I mean, it seems to be okay so far. There's nothing out of the ordinary. It's fine. It's a visual novel. One of the better ones that I've had to play so far.
Or tomorrow, hopefully.
Voice acting in it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm taking the weekend off for you. I don't get to do that very often. It's costly. But in my heart, I know that this open bar is compensation enough.
If it's any consolation, Guy Does Things, I think this is one of, if not the only games that have been suggested by the community that falls into this genre. It's been suggested for a while, so it was going to happen sooner or later, and there's someone who's passionate about it, so good for them. We're going into it with an open mind. That's all.
You get drunk after one cocktail.
You're a lightweight.
Oh, I plan on going farther than that.
All
I
right.
wanted to make the night memorable, right? I think the marker of a memorable night is not remembering it at all.
Yeah, the guy on the left, some kind of... I'm going like... The ears remind me of like a fennec fox, but I'm guessing it's meant to be a bunny.
Oh,
Maybe.
so you're an alcoholic.
Okay, I like the friendship these two have got.
Says the guy who drinks beer at lunchtime.
Hey, taking jabs at each other. I like it.
Day drinking is better.
Oh,
At least
I
it's in
can't
moderation.
Wait to hear the explanation on that one.
Before they can continue talking, we almost bump into somebody. Quickly dodging to the side, we turn back and apologize.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's going to be someone we recognize. Oh, Graeldon, your question. Can you use slurs in chat if it's reclamation? I would say probably, if you have to ask the question as to whether or not you should say something, I would say you probably shouldn't say it. Just gonna put it out that way. There's been a lot of things along those lines. I would say, if you have to question saying it, just don't. Better not to.
Don't worry about it.
Well, hi, who are you? And, okay. Open denim jacket, hoodie. Collar. Interesting. Whew. Hi. Yeah, if the word's queer, I think that's okay. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a slur at the moment. Also, sexy sax coming in the background and the music. Oh, hello.
Say, that's a lot of food.
It is indeed.
I suppose it is.
Well, are you gonna eat it all?
That's what you do with food, yeah?
Fish out.
Oh,
Who are you? His shoulders slump down and he looks defeated. We exchange glances as concern rises within us. That's not all that's rising within us.
Hey, everything all right?
yeah, just really hungry.
Can't you go buy some food for yourself?
Is this dude... He's either broke, hopefully not homeless, probably just broke. Down on his lucks. He slaps his hands on his pants pockets as if looking for something, be like, Oh, damn. Yeah, oh. Forgot it. Whoops. Why is the entire chat suddenly so homosexual? We're getting in the mood. It's fine. We're getting in the mood. A clearly comedic gesture, as we can now tell he's carrying nothing with him. Yeah.
I guess I forgot my wallet at home.
Can you don't / Hunter Elves. Sorry, I don't know if this is quite what you were expecting to happen when you suggested the game. I hope you're having fun seeing these reactions to it though, but apologies. I hope I'm doing it justice to at least an extent.
Your phone, too?
Yep, forgot everything.
My what?
We exchange glances once again as we start to understand.
Oh, you're a zero.
Ooh, someone living off the grid.
That's what they've been calling me, yeah. My friends are here to protest. I just wanted to see the city. Didn't pack enough, though, and now this walking has me starved.
Fair. Alright, so you're against the system. I can get behind that. We huddle together and start whispering amongst ourselves.
What do we do? Beats me. I've never met a zero before. Hey, aren't we gonna lose points if we keep talking to him?
Santa? Perfect response. Perfect response, Sander. Love it. Also, Sodrix, I didn't notice anything different with his voice, but let's hear him talk again.
Dude, he's a person, not a liability.
Yeah, think of them as people, not as zeros. You're putting a categorization on them that's not fair.
Of course, of course.
I can hear you.
Nah, his voice is just a little more raspy. Isaac and Taylor look scared stiff. To break the awkward silence, I grab an apple from Taylor's bag. Holding out toward the zero, I make it clear that it now belongs to him. So even like I'm being racist here by saying the zero. Well, not racist, what would that be? Classist? I guess?
No joke?
Now, this is the ultimate test to see if this is a character worthy of our attention or not. There's just an unspoken rule in media that if someone is eating an apple, if they take 1, maybe 2 bites and then throw it away, they're an asshole. They're evil. Don't trust them. If they eat the entire thing or they just put it aside and leave it for later, then they're trustworthy. They're okay. But anyone that just sits there, chomps an apple and then tosses it, they're never a good person. Never. Keep an eye out for that in media. It's 100% true. Apples are used to figure out if people are good or bad. It's like a morality test. It's so weird. I shake my head and apologize on behalf of Isaac and Taylor.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm just not used to seeing, zeros in the city.
Yeah, the shopping cart test. Absolutely,
Anywhere,
guy
for
does
that
things.
matter. You and your friends are making history.
I love the shopping cart test. The whole idea that you can judge a person's level of morality simply based on whether or not they put a shopping trolley back in the bay after they're done unloading everything. Because it's something that there's no rule saying that you have to do it. It's just a social kindness. It's such an interesting one. Also, if anyone hasn't seen them on YouTube or other social media, I love the guy that does the shopping cart police and will move the carts back behind the cars as they're reversing out so that they can't leave, or will slap magnetic stickers onto their cars shaming them. Love that stuff. The balls on that guy must be absolutely massive, so I don't know how he's able to chase down the perpetrators, but just as a concept, I love that, and I love just watching how angry some people get about it because they refuse to think that they're even slightly in the wrong. It's amazing. Amazing stuff. Yeah, maniacs who leave their shopping cart in the parking spots are the worst. Yeah, when you're trying to drive up and down to find a parking spot to do your shopping, you're like, oh, there's an open one, and you're you just get enough visual on it, and all you see is a shopping trolley taking up the entire space. You're like, wow. Some people just have, no morals. No social niceties. Anyway, distracted. Let's carry on.
If you say so.
He steps forward and grabs the apple out of my hand.
What do they call you?
I tell him my name's Delta and introduce him to Isaac and Taylor.
Delta, huh? So I guess you're the cool one.
Just got an achievement called The Forbidden Fruit. Well, if that doesn't tell me this is the person I should be pursuing, then I don't know what would. With a smile, he takes a bite of the apple and walks away. We wait until he's out of earshot before talking about what happened. Oh, we'll never know if he finishes the entire apple! Damn it!
I'm totally cool. What was he talking about?
Yeah, the definition of cool. Walking around in a jacket that's 3 sizes too big.
I'm
Fair call.
growing into it.
More like filling it out with all that junk food you've been eating. Anyway, let's keep going. Hopefully that was our only distraction.
Fingers crossed.
Wait, I'm actually kind of concerned.
Yeah, I think you're right, his niche. Apparently, our character that we're never going to get to see is the most hands down attractive character out of everyone that we're seeing, because everyone is instantly like, I want a piece of that.
Trust me, Isaac, it's nothing to worry about. Totally normal to be concerned with your weight.
No, you idiot. It's the Zero. He said he wanted to see the city.
I have ears.
Yep, we noticed.
Yeah, but that means he's never seen it before. He's one of the Zeros that was born on a colony.
This is the kind of story that I prefer more than anything else. Yeah, we're not the Blue Wolf. We're different. The Blue Wolf is Isaac. We're our own character called Delta.
And?
Sandy, yeah. we're a human. We're the only human amongst all of this. That'd be amazing.
He never got a chance to say no to the system. He must have had ideals forced onto him by Mom and Dad.
Oh, I see what you mean. At least we get to choose.
Shouldn't he, too? You know what? Never mind. This is getting too deep for me.
As for like what our species is, I think we're whatever species you want to have in your own headcanon. So if you want to be a wolf, a feline, a spider, be whatever the hell you want. I don't think it's specified.
Sounds about right. You're more of a drinker than a thinker.
Guess I have my work cut out for me then.
He laughs and shakes his bag slightly. Bottles of alcohol shake around, knocking into one another. As we make our way home, I can't help but feel sorry for that Zero too. Stop calling them Zeros! They're just people. Everybody should get a chance to start fresh, just like I did. Ominous noise. Yikes. Alright. We got 2 more to play through. So, yeah, I think we'll do these 2 and then we'll probably call it for a day there.
Experience Pivotal Fragment. Another session.
Yes. 02. 02 is the best. Absolutely. Everybody deserves a chance to start fresh. Even you. Short explanation of what a story means to be a Zero. If I getting my facts straight on this, it's basically someone who does not want to conform to the system at all. In this world, in this sci-fi world, there is the system, which is basically like a social credit scoring thing. So if you do good deeds, you earn bonus points. Like they gave an example at the very start of watching a special 1-hour report on like the history of Komorebi and all the rest of it. Yeah, as Sanders said, it's basically someone's social worth as a person for how they're contributing to society. So yeah, if you reject the system, you're going to have a 0 score because you don't care about adhering to it, and you think most people in that category are going to be people that think the system should be overthrown and shouldn't exist because it's affecting free will, essentially. There's other factors as well, which is the Komorebi itself. In this universe, the majority of the population have recurring visions about what is going to happen in their future, good and bad. And they happen from roughly around that, like as soon as you kind of hit puberty and you're like, or early teens really is when it seems to actually hit, and they stay the same forever. So therapists have risen dramatically in popularity as a result, which is a really interesting touch, kind of thinking about how people would handle the reality of knowing, or in the case of our character, not knowing what their future is going to be when everybody else does. So yeah, quite interesting. The counselor stares at me like he's unsure of what to say. A few sheets of paper in his hand sporadically divert his attention. I can tell he's reading the notes from our previous session, our first session. We didn't get to cover much ground, but it was still a nice experience. I was worried we wouldn't get along, and that was a bit of a stressor. He seems nice though, and a lot of my worries have dwindled.
Terribly sorry about last time. I hate cutting things short. But when our safety is on the line, I have to make some tough calls.
That's totally fair, I think. I've also
That
forgotten
protest
what your
seemed
name
pretty
is.
heated. I hope they didn't give you any trouble.
Nah, it's fine, they didn't bother me. I shake my head. I had no issues getting home. I don't think the protesters wanted to hurt anybody. They wanted change. Obviously, some would fight for that change, but no hands have been forced yet.
Interesting times we live in, hmm?
Yeah, can I riz the therapist?
Pay a group no mind, and eventually it'll grow unchecked. At this rate, the heads of August might have to get involved. But let's not worry about that right now. We're on the clock. There's a couple of things I wanted to ask you last time, so let's start there. With how calm it is outside today, I don't think we'll have any issues.
Cool, we're not going to be erupted. That's nice. Giving him a nod, I lean back in my chair. I really didn't need to be here, but I didn't want to lose points either. Yeah, you basically have to go to therapy or you lose social credit. Ouch. It seemed like we were in a stalemate until he cleared me as a patient. I only saw my last counselor for so long because it was part of my normal. With a big life change like this, I wanted to leave some of that stuff behind. If he can deem me mentally fit, then I won't have to see him anymore. That could be easy or hard, and it differs from doctor to doctor. But with how we're getting along, I can tell that Wow, what is that sentence? Let me try that again. But with how we're getting along, I think he can tell that I'm doing well. As I've said many times before, my lack of a vision has never held me back. Leonhard, hello. Rizzing the therapist is quite a popular idea in the Komorebi Discord. I can understand why. Wait, that didn't quite come out how I intended. That's fine. Also, hi Leonhard, how do you know about what's happening in the Komorebi Discord? I take it you're a member. Okay.
This one is actually a bit atypical, but I'll ask it anyway. As we've already established, you're a bit of a unique case.
I am indeed.
So, if you had the option to experience a vision, would you?
I wonder if I'll actually get to answer this one.
I know you say you're fine without one, but this is a different angle. If I could offer you a vision of your future, would you take it? Keep in mind that you might not like what you see.
I love that they brought this back, because we kind of touched on this earlier in the stream, and there was some kind of mixed answers on it. But yeah, it's like, if you could see visions of the future and know what was going to happen, would you want to see it? And I think, like most people, I'm like, you know what? Especially if the future is unchangeable, I wouldn't want to see my future. I'd rather be able to live more in the moment. It's a better way of doing it. Yeah, Amran, no one said you have to join the Discord. Leonhard just said that they're in the Discord. You don't have to join. The sheer fact that the Discord exists does not force you to join it. Let them do their thing. It's fine. Alright? You don't need to comment on it. Alright. No, I'm fine without the Komorebi.
All right. I'll take your word for it. You're a really interesting person, you know. I like that.
Oh, what's happened there?
Most people like you crave Komorebi.
The word...
To be like everybody else.
The text on the word no isn't formatted right. Something's gone wrong with it. That K is blurring. Weird. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Boop. Done. Might send that through to the dev and let them know. I mean, it's such a small thing, but there's something strange, like, you know, is formatted different. Yeah, probably not visible through stream compression. It's more pixelated than anything else. Very weird.
I've never found any merit in that, though.
The rest of the text is fine.
Trying to be like other people only makes you forget who you are. There's a certain beauty in embracing what makes you special.
Oh, he sees a certain beauty in me.
There used to be a time when you couldn't do that. At least not without being judged by your peers.
I
Even
feel
a few
that.
generations ago, psychics were a laughingstock.
That changed?
But then Komorebi came along.
I mean, yeah, I guess
and
with the
turned
ability
tables
for
everybody.
visions. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
My point is that society moves on to a new fad almost every other day. Trying to stay current, trying to fit in, is generally a bad idea.
Okay, yeah. You're down for breaking the norm.
Be
I
yourself,
like it.
Delta. Your time in the spotlight will come eventually.
Kind of. What if I don't want to be in the spotlight? I just want a boring, normal life. I nod, unsure of where he's going with this. He makes me do that a lot, doesn't he?
Regardless of your thoughts right now, in the future you may feel pressured to fit in. I try and give my patients lessons that they
Foreshadowing?
can use for the rest of their lives. So even if I end up clearing you as a patient, you'll be just a tad wiser.
Interesting. You know what? When he puts it that way, it sounds kind of cool. I may not need a therapist, but maybe I shouldn't think of him as one. He's like a mentor, an older, wiser person to teach me valuable lessons.
As I was saying, Komorebi changed
In
the
the
way
bedroom.
we see almost everything. We look
Another
back
name
on
drop.
history and see prophets all the time, but we never believed them. Seers, soothsayers, fortune tellers, we see them littered throughout our past. But now it's impossible to justify our skepticism. In fact, it now seems unreasonable to deny.
They haven't really explained why certain words are coloured in yellow or coloured in red quite yet.
Who's to say that Komorebi wasn't
drop.
gifted to special people in the past? These people throughout the ages could have just been the first to receive it.
Yeah, more like a curse or like a trial run for giving it to the world. Interesting. I would say it's more like a curse, realistically. Yeah. Great, not gonna lie, sometimes you think about learning how to draw furry art to get money from suspiciously wealthy furries. I mean, look, there's the market for it. Let's be honest. I don't think it's a trial run. I think it just happens to be a lucky coincidence. Yeah, I agree, Alyssa. I think it is just meant to be emphasis. Delta's not the least special person in the world because there are other people like Delta out there, but we're the minority. We're in the minority that we didn't receive the Komorebi. Let's go... Yeah, the top one. It's more like a curse.
But then you have to ask, where did the Komorebi phenomenon come from?
I would love to see that as a compilation. It's just Komorebi, 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 Komorebi. Yeah. Yeah, we're sort of true neutral. Absolutely. Alright, yeah, so where did it come
Is
from?
someone or something responsible? Or is it just random? The implications of these visions unsettled almost everybody.
Well, I mean, we're also curious as to where all the humans went and why it's just a world full of fairies now, but that's fine. Alternative universe and all the rest of it.
Interesting to know that you think of it as a curse, though. A lot of people without visions think that they weren't worthy of Komorebi. Like it's something gifted to people who meet certain conditions.
That knowledge is such a double-edged sword.
But regardless of where it came from, we have to live with it. You seem to be doing pretty good in a world like this, though. You may not fit in, but like I said, you don't need to.
Perfect. I don't want to conform. He smiles softly and places his papers on the stand beside him.
I'm a bit of an outlier myself, you know.
Oh, are you now? Tell me more.
There's a reason why I counsel people like you, Delta. So when I talk about not having visions, just know that I speak from the heart.
You could be absolutely right, Testia. Curious here. Reason why I counsel people like you, so when I talk about not having visions, no, I speak from the heart. Do you also not have the visions?
A lot of things you feel over your lifetime, I already
Yeah,
have.
I'd say it's insinuating it.
Doubts, fears, depression. There's a lot that could come your way.
Yeah, I have to agree. This is an alternative universe where humans probably never existed. Or evolution took a different path, and this is how we've wound up here in this kind of society.
If I can make it easier on you, then I consider all of this a success.
It's one of those things where, like, if it's never explicitly addressed, you can make a couple of assumptions about it, right? Whoa, so he's never experienced Komorebi either. I also find it interesting that he's starting to open up to me. Until just recently, it seemed like he was reciting a self-help book.
You might not experience these things for years to come. But unfortunately, we all have a crisis or two throughout our lives.
True.
When yours comes, I hope that you'll look back on these talks with an open mind.
I hope so too. Some good advice. It feels a little harsh to tell me that my life will be difficult in the future, but I guess that's a universal fact. Nobody sails through life without issue. I thank him for what he's told me, and especially for opening up to me.
No worries, Delta. This is a two-way street.
I really hope it is.
I may do most of the talking, but I try to mix it up. I want to talk to you, not at you. It's more personal that way.
I can see why a lot of people are like, we should be having a relationship with the therapist.
For example, now you know that I'm just like you. My advice may have seemed generic, but it came from experience, and that, as they say, is the best teacher. So I think we'll mix together well. Let's talk about that during our next session, though. We're almost off the clock. I'd hate to get cut off in the middle of something like we did last time.
Cut off like what almost happened to your nose? What's the story behind that? I want to know more.
Just be careful out there when you leave. Could be another protest. Or even worse.
Sounds like you're hoping for another protest, mate. I realize that he's right. The hour of our session has basically flown by. That's probably a good thing, though. Wouldn't want these meetings to drag on. After thanking for his time, I decide to gather my thoughts before heading out. Welcome to the Mind Palace.
Interact with each word to learn more about it.
Alright, lore dump time.
Upon interacting with both, your experience will continue.
Yep, we've done this before. Argus. The inner workings of the corporation are shrouded in mystery. Nobody even knows who runs it, but theories run rampant. Currently, it must be in the hands of the founder's child or children. It's been way too long to remain in the hands of just one generation, unless they've invented technology to improve longevity and just haven't shared it with the rest of the world, because that's also possible. In my opinion, trying to explain why they're furries makes the stories worse. Shrek is the only one. Yeah, to be fair, it's one of those where you just have to have that kind of, what's it called? Where you kind of like remove it from reality, essentially. You need to have that suspension of disbelief. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to justify it. You can drop hints to it in the world building somewhere, but it's not like you have to go, alright, new player, here's what's happened. You don't need to do it explicitly like that. Mind Palace, no, it wasn't actually Persona reference, that was Sherlock reference, but yeah, I guess it can be both. It turns out, like, through this whole thing, actually the furries don't exist and we're just wearing augmented reality glasses that turns everyone into their fursona. It's just an app this entire time. Oh god, what a plot twist that would be. It turns out Argus Corporation created an app that turns everyone into their inner fursonas. The moment Argus Corporation gets shut down, everyone turns back into humans again. Oh god, what a plot twist that would be. Alright. It's been way too long to remain in the hands of one generation, but no matter who runs it, their influence on society is clear. A world without the Argus Corporation would be awful. No fursonas. At least that's what we think. All we can really do is speculate. Either way, the influence and power of this single corporation is immense. They have a monopoly on almost everything and use it to maintain order. It could be worse. They could use their power for nefarious purposes. Not worth thinking about though, as there are far more real issues at hand. But if they're using it for nefarious purposes, they're in control of the technology, they would just make it so that we don't know about it. We're falling for it, hook, line and sinker. They are absolutely doing something nefarious. Jesus. Oh, you think it was the episode of Black Mirror? Entirely possible. Humans invented shape-shifting machines, and due to a crisis, only the furries survived. The knowledge of the machines was lost. Is that actual lore, or is that something you've invented? Isn't there a furry horror game with goop that turns you into a fairy? Probably. Honestly, no idea. Also, with the whole app idea, I would not be surprised if with the rise of virtual/augmented reality, pretty sure someone will do that. Pretty sure it'll become a real thing. Namely, the protests and the people living outside our city limits. Zeros. Yep, which is going to be relevant to the protests. Okay. While the system is presented as mandatory, some people still dodge it. They have no score, no identity, and live outside of the city in self-sustaining colonies. They're known as zeros. While originally a small group, they've since grown quite large. But as they grow, so too does the size and scope of our cities. That is the wrong two. Just screenshot that one. Yeah, that wrong two. Such a small thing, but come on. The Argus Corporation has slowly but surely been encroaching on zero territory. They're running out of space, and the integrity of their communities is more and more at risk. Some people say that they deserve it, but I don't think it's so black and white. Either way, these protests aren't violent, and they aren't calling for any substantial change. Zeros simply want the ability to enter the city legally and purchase what they need to live. They need this because the loss of space means they can't make enough of their own. And not only that, but many people who live outside the city don't do so by choice. If you abandoned the system, you wouldn't be allowed back. Or your children, or even their children. Many zeros suffer for the choices of those that came before them. These protests could give them the chance to try their hands at life in the city. I'm sure they'll reach a mutual conclusion, but it's odd how involved Argus is. They have such a sway with world powers, but I guess as people say, they did save the world. Maybe they're simply collecting what they now believe is their reward. No, with their surveillance technology, they've got dirt on the world leaders and are basically the power controlling the government from behind the scenes. Absolutely. Alright, we've got one more scene to play through. It looks like this is back indoors again.
Experience pivotal fragment. Introspeculation.
That's a word I'm not familiar with. What's our next little poetic quote? Nostalgia is like a broken mirror. Recreate the past and you'll end up full of cuts. Socrates. Alright, we're pre-gaming. Here we go. I throw my head back and take a shot. The alcohol quickly burns my throat. After a couple of coughs, I let out a noise that signals my satisfaction. I can't help but feel happy as a warm feeling rises within me.
I guess Delta is a lightweight too. Looks like you have some competition, Taylor.
Hey, it's not a competition if the victor is clear. $100 says I pass out before they do.
Okay, perfect. We're in for a fun night.
Oh, now this is gonna be interesting.
Here, let me get the music. We need a theme song for Taylor's demise.
Are they actually going to change the music?
Wow, have some faith.
As if your ego needs to get any bigger. If I could afford it, my money would go right on Delta.
Nice.
Wait, you can't afford it? I thought your books were bestsellers.
Yeah, they were.
Not anymore.
Anyway, what do you want to hear? You all okay if I put on some Clace?
Wait, hang on. Name Clace is familiar to me. Isn't that like the name of the dev or something? Hang on, one sec. Let me have a quick peek. Are they just name dropping themselves? Yes, the developer and publisher is Clace. They're name dropping themselves. Not Dev in chat, Dev in game. Oh, wow, that's ballsy. Name dropping yourself as an artist.
I could go either way.
You know, I heard he could too.
Oh, really? He'd fit in well with us then.
Oh. That's awkward.
Whoa, speak for yourself, man. We don't all hit on everyone we see.
No, can't add that one to the counter. We're only looking for the Komorebis. Yeah, alcohol's fine in moderation. That's fine. These guys seem to be going for a little more than moderation, though.
Yeah, I made sure to warn my friend about that. Meeting a boozed-up Taylor is certainly an, experience.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
Please don't.
Always gotta ruin my fun. But go ahead, put on some Clace. Not very party-like, just sitting here in silence.
Yeah, but gotta set the mood, you know? The mood. Dante smiles and pulls out his phone. The speakers in the corners of the room let out a noise signaling his connection. After a few moments of scrolling through his device, he decides on a song.
Party time?
Party time!
Party time!
Is this actually... Yeah, Encore by Clace. I'd be curious to know if he's actually composed his own music for this. And vocals? It is quiet. Interesting. Yeah, I'd say this is actually their own music. He presses play with a wide grin on his face and music fills the room. Isaac grabs the bottle of vodka resting on the table and stands up tall.
And that means more shots.
Matt, we are going to be absolutely wasted by the time we actually get to the nightclub. He slides his shot glass across the table in my direction. Dante does the same, but in Taylor's direction. Oh no, they really do want to test our tolerance.
Prepare for trouble.
He throws the bottle in the air and catches it with a flourish.
We're making it a double.
Pokemon reference. He walks over to me and fills up both shot glasses with vodka. A moment later, he does the same to Taylor, topping us up. I tell him I'll do it as long as him and Dante do it too. Yay! Peer pressure! Oh, this is gonna go so wrong. Yeah, I agree, isn't it? It's why I'm not a huge fan of social drinking. Peer pressure is a very real thing. Always know where your limits are. Drink responsibly.
You have yourself a deal. 4 for you, 4 for us.
Ooh dear. Yeah, sorry, stream might have been slightly delayed because I alt-tabbed out for a second. Hopefully it's got back up again.
You really want us to pass out, huh? Don't think your friend would like being stood up.
Oh boy.
We'll pace ourselves, don't worry. Remember, we're not leaving for 3 more hours.
That's a lot of shots to do right now.
Drink up?
I'm surprised you haven't already.
As if that was a direct challenge, Taylor and I both take our shots. Then, in one swift motion, we slide the glasses over to Isaac and Dante. Filling them up almost immediately, Isaac then strikes a thinking pose.
We should have a toast.
Naive Melody, there's been a couple of choices here and there, mostly to do with like some of the character interactions. Personally, I've not been a fan of the choices presented. They're very one note and kind of forcing you onto a very almost like stereotyped path. They don't always feel conversationally natural. So, yeah, bit hit and miss at the moment. Overall, the general conversations and narrative flow are pretty good. Like the voice acting's feeling very natural to like between the characters. Not perfect, but pretty good. Taylor's inebriation is becoming clear as he wobbles slightly. Wow, that alcohol hit him fast. If the earlier wager were official, I guess he'd be winning.
I live by many rules, but one has never let me down. Always let a writer make the toast. It's what they do best.
Fair enough. All eyes are immediately on Dante.
Wow. No pressure
Yeah,
or anything.
fair. Yeah, you're right, Santa. The protagonist is feeling kind of redundant. They're actually a little too much of a blank slate, if anything. Or actually, kind of more to the point is we're not having enough opportunities to project our own personality into the story and have those kind of interactions. Again, we are actually technically still early on. We've been going kind of a slow pace for this.
Come on, it's an honor.
It's my job. It's not a party trick, but, sure, let me think of something.
Amra, calm down there, mate. No need to drop in your swear words here and there. It's all good. Let people have their preferences. Him and Isaac both pick up one shot glass in unison. There's a pause for a few moments while Dante decides what to say. Yeah, also, Amra, you're 14. You really can't comment on what you want to do with alcohol or not, mate. Calm down. But after a little while of thinking, he seems to give up and laugh.
You know what? This one's just from the heart. Here's to getting wasted with the people that matter.
Yeah, with the people that matter. And with any luck, that list will keep on growing.
Alrighty. Taylor and I hold our hands up like we were taking shots as well. We all say cheers and they down the vodka faster than Isaac poured it. Purpleman's been here for a while. His name's Dante, from Devil May Cry. Talk about getting a head start on the night. Buzz before supper time.
Speaking of which, who are we meeting? You gonna tell us who this friend of yours is?
Nope. But honestly, I'm nervous too. I've never met him, so it's not just you.
You're right, Sander. There's a little bit of slurring going on with his words now. That's actually pretty good.
Wait a second. You've never even met him?
Nope.
Correct.
And you think I move fast with guys?
Hey, it's not like he's a stranger, man. He's just never been in town until today.
I see. Long distant friend.
But we've been friends online for a while now. Trust me, he's good. No need to worry.
Yeah, okay, I'm always cautious with that.
If you say so. Anyone who gives me free booze is good in my books. I just thought you met him before with how much you've been saying.
Nope. Just the anxiety making me ramble.
Okay, background music has turned out pretty good. I was worried that like the original composition could be a little bit cheesy, but it's alright.
Hence all the liquid courage we just ingested. Might want to switch to rum though. Vodka's running dry.
Oh geez, alright. Plan on doing a little more pre-gaming. He shakes the bottle with an embarrassed laugh. We've already gone through a whole bottle? Wow. Isaac must have a weird definition of pacing.
Rum? I'm down. I'll go grab the cola. I think it's time to start mixing. Those straight shots are really starting to creep up on me.
With dramatic flair, he acts like he's passing out. Ah! Then a moment later, his head rests on my shoulder. Oh boy, the flirting begins. I laugh and exchange awkward glances with everyone else.
Or maybe you could get it for me, Delta. I fear I've gotten a bit lightheaded over here.
Oh, okay, the music's back to the normal BGM now. That's an interesting way to kind of spruik your own album. Don't know if I like it or not. I have no problem doing a favor for a friend, so I agree. But a temptation rises within me to mess with him before I get up. Looking down at him, I think of what message I'd like to send. Ooh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not a fan of you. I'm gonna shove you off my shoulder. I'm not gonna wrap an arm around. Sorry, dude. With a laugh, I shove him off my shoulder. He lets out an exaggerated gasp like I hurt his feelings.
Wow, rejected.
Wait, Taylor's voiced by the pilot Angel Dust VA? You're talking about, oh, what's it called? Shoot, I know what you're talking about. It's not the hotel has been the... Oh, what was that pilot called before it? I have completely... Like, I watched it back when it came out. Was it Has Been Hotel? I thought it went by a different name at one point. Yeah, oh, yeah, it was Has Been Hotel / Hell of a Boss. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Same VA. Interesting. I enjoyed the pilot of that, by the way. That was just a fun time. Haven't watched anything else after that, but yeah. Yeah, Hell of a Boss was like a spin-off or something that just focused on like one specific set of characters, I think. Yeah, different series. Okay. Both by like the same studio, but yeah. Again, I watched the pilot, I enjoyed it, thought it was fun, haven't watched anything else really since then.
Shocking absolutely no one.
A few chuckles fill the room as I stand up and walk to the fridge. The cola's easy to find even amongst the booze-filled appliance. When I make it back to the table, I notice that Dante is holding the rum. Again, I'm surprised that it doesn't cost you social credits to purchase alcohol.
Man, I'm gonna miss this.
What do you mean you're gonna miss this? He sighs as he shakes the bottle, swirling the liquid inside.
Well, we can always buy more. It's cheap stuff.
He's leaving, perhaps?
Oh, not that. I meant all of this. In general.
Way to bring down the mood, dude.
Sitting down with your best friends, getting drunk during the day, downing shot after shot like our bodies aren't starting to hate us.
Or are you just talking about getting old? Because if so, I feel that. Oh, I feel that.
Oh, you mean youth.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but at least we made the most of it. Couldn't have asked for a better group of friends.
Aw.
Dude, I feel exactly the same way. I can't even imagine what life would be like without all of you.
Yeah,
Just
that
the
alcohol
thought of
hit
it's enough
fast.
to keep me up at night. And it does.
Oh? Finally confessing your feelings for all of us?
Well, there's the polyamory.
Dude, no way. It's just, we're so close now. But are we still in touch in any of your visions?
Ah, okay. So he does have visions. Dante does. Interesting. I shrug, since it's pretty obvious that I've never had a vision, but the rest of them exchange worried glances with one another. They didn't have to say anything. I know exactly what they're thinking.
Oh. Exactly. I can't get it off my mind.
Ah, so they've had visions, and none of them are together for it.
I think of you all as my family. But in my vision, you're not even an afterthought.
That's why I think the visions are bad. By now, Dante has fixed us all some rum and cola. The mood in the room took a turn for the worse, and I stare at my glass. I'm not sure how I fit into this conversation. I'm definitely still the odd one out.
Hey, we're together now, and that's what matters.
See, gotta focus on the present.
If you're constantly worried about the future, you'll never enjoy the present. We could drift apart, yeah, but no point in just moping around until it happens.
Ah, Naive Melody, you must have missed that part. The whole Komorebi thing, the namesake of the game, is this... How would you describe it? There's a specific word that's escaping me, apologies, but it's basically a thing that's happened hundreds of years ago now, where people receive visions when they hit a certain age point, usually about 13, where it shows them what's going to happen for the rest of their lives. And this repeats quite constantly as well. If you scroll up in the chat, you can see another explanation of it from earlier, assuming it shows you the chat history. But yeah, basically it's unavoidable. You'll repeatedly see these visions about your own future, good or bad. Our character, though, is one of the minority doesn't get these visions. Isaac looks up from his glass with a smile.
Remember what you said about foresight in the group chat?
I wasn't reading the group chat, sorry.
If we know we might stop being friends, then we need to make the most of it. And I don't know about you, but I think tonight is the perfect night for that.
Sounds
you know
good.
what? You're right. But why do we have to drift apart?
Because we're going to get too drunk and we're going to do something we regret, and that's going to cause us to drift apart. Yeah, it's the same vision each time, Christopher. Absolutely. Doesn't change. So everyone knows what their future is going to be. Except us. We're one of the few that doesn't.
Who says we can't be friends forever?
Fate, and quite literally.
Yep, Dante called it.
Well then, screw fate. I won't let anything take you away from me.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. Whatever action you take, you already know the outcome.
I don't know if we're equipped to fight fate, man. And if well-wishing were a weapon, the world would be much better off.
Are we anime protagonists? Because then we could be fighting fate. Everyone knows that's how it works.
Let's just create some memories that we can revisit whenever we want.
Even when we're
I'm
no
on your
longer
side.
together.
Isaac's mood almost instantly reverses, and he holds up his
Now
glass.
there's a toast.
We touch our glasses together, and then take a large swig.
And shame on you, Taylor. Using my own words against me? Guess it's true what they say, though. Your own advice is always better when it comes from somebody else.
We're all creatures of self-doubt, man. Can't escape that. But don't worry, Isaac. I'm not going anywhere.
Except you are. We've covered this. Anyway, let's get to the nightclub. Come on.
I'm not sure if we can beat fate. but I promise to put up one hell of a fight.
You're not going to put up much hell of a fight if you keep on drinking, mate. That seemed like the perfect end to our discussion. Moving on to more casual topics, we slowly sip our drinks. But this is the first time I've seen the more negative effects of Komorebi. A group of people realizing they might not be friends forever. There's something so liberating yet terrifying about that. It almost seemed like a rite of passage into maturity. But here I sat with no vision to my name and no input at all. As my new life kept going, I'd have no idea what the future could bring. And that thought alone was almost as liberating and terrifying as the alternative. Yeah, terrifying. Oh, it's terrible sound effect choice. Could have been so much better. Oh dear. Alright, we are going to save there. How are we done for time? Yeah, actually that's pretty much perfect. That is almost bang on 3 hours. Alright, I think we are going to call it there for the stream. But what I am going to do is I am going to jump over and we'll run a quick poll to see if we want to see a little bit more of this in a future stream. So let me pop that down. We switch over here, pop it over to here. A little bit of music back on. And turn it down a touch because otherwise that's going to be too loud. Right, let's run a poll. If I can remember how the hell I do that. There it is, I think. Start a poll. More Komorebi next week. Yes or no? Oh, that's not how you spell next, but you get the drift. Sorry, typoed. Alright. Judging by Steam reviews, this game's about 16 hours long. With all the details we're doing, would take a lot of streams. We would probably just focus on the main story if we were going to continue on with streams. I'll probably not touch too much of the side content. We'll just carry on with the main story and go from there. Ooh, okay. More people saying yes than I was expecting. Might do some karaoke after, just like singing stuff you like, but still. It definitely sets an interesting mood, everything in the actual game itself. And I got some respect for that. They're pretty good with setting tone. Okay. Looks like majority are interested in some more Komorebi Bexed Beak. Very happy to carry on with it, get a bit further. I'm enjoying it so far. It's rough around the edges. Presentation-wise is fantastic. Most of the general background music, really nice. I would say it's the sound effects that are a little bit odd. I feel like it actually needs more sound effects, but definitely not to the point of what I experienced with, what was it called? Conspiracy Girls. That was sound effect every 5 seconds. Vine booms, flashes, pings, laugh soundtracks. Oh, that was an experience that I don't want to have again. This, though, is feeling more high quality. It's probably up there along with To Do Today, but a longer experience. To Do Today didn't have any voice acting either, so that always kind of puts it in a different area. There we go. So, yes, there'll be more Komorebi next week. Now, this is the thing. We are going to continue on with Komorebi next week because Komorebi was on the list of games that would be potentially featured for a Valentine's Day stream. So, actually, it is thematically perfect for what we're going to be looking at. Or, actually, no. Let me put that to a poll as well. We'll ask, because next week, you're right, Amra, was meant to be the thematic one. It is love themed. It is. Let's see. Komorebi for 1 week. I'll ask this one as well. Should we pause Komorebi for 1 week to feature a different themed game? Because it is love themed technically, so it does fit, but it was also meant to be a chance for others to potentially get voted on as well. But you guys are here, you're enjoying it. I'm kind of happy for it to go either way personally. I'm not attached. Ooh, this one's a little more divisive. Okay. We'll see how we feel. Looks like... Oh, it's straight 50-50 split. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Maybe just have to come down to my own decision then. The whole point with the themed one was meant to be a little bit of trial and error, do something a little bit different for a change. And I'm absolutely happy to make sure that this comes back after one different stream. We can go from there. Okay, we've got 13 votes in. Again, there might be some people who are just kind of indifferent. They don't mind. They're just happy to see a stream, happy to see what comes up, and that's totally fine as well. Okay, looks like it is just over 50-50. All right, I think that's fair then. So I would say that we do... Next stream is our Valentine's Day special, where we feature something else, probably a shorter game. And then we come back to Komorebi the week after, and we'll carry on with the story from there. And again, I think what we'll do, now that we've kind of seen what it's about, is we will focus on the main plot and kind of push through from there. Because I don't know about you guys, but honestly, I'm finding the main plot and this whole thing around Argus Corporation and the system and zeros to be more interesting personally than the romance aspects of it all. The characters themselves have enough personality that I'm enjoying just being a part of it. I'm curious to see where it goes. That's my general feel. Happy to do the romance stuff on the side, but for me, it's actually not the focus. And that's fine. It'll be a vote, Amra. Have to wait and see. Again, it'll be random selection from the appropriate thematic games. I will do 4 from the list, and then it'll be over to the community to vote and see what they want to play. Kinito Pet will be one of the ones which is going to be voted on in the initial selection of 4, but there's no guarantee that it will be one of the 4 because we've got more than 4 choices, right? We'll see what comes from it. The other thing I wanted to mention, just while there's a few people still here and we're wrapping up, is that the video coming out hopefully tomorrow. It's still being polished and finished up by Ty at the moment, so hopefully it'll be ready for tomorrow. But that's going to be our 50th. It's going to be episode number 50 coming out tomorrow, and I'm quite excited for that. And there's a few nice special things that are going to be happening with it as well, which kind of just coincided to happen at the same time. You're going to be seeing some new artwork for our main Crusader, Grail, dropping in. You're also going to be seeing, for the first time, actual community members appearing in a video because it was a multiplayer game. There's going to be a new intro and outro video collage of all the games we've covered so far. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. Panda is warm and toasty as usual. She's having a sleepy time over on her warm blanket. She has gotten to the point, Gray, where because the heated blanket has a 4-hour timeout on it, when it gets cold and like when it switches off and then gets cold, she will come in and bother me or my wife to go and turn her blanket back on again. She's figured out how it works. It's just a button, and theoretically she could press it herself, but she hasn't quite twigged that far yet. She's not that intelligent. But she knows when it's not on, and she knows that we turn it on, so she comes and bugs us to put a heated blanket back on. So, she's smart, just not that smart. She's not really teachable. She's not like food motivated or anything, so it's kind of hard to teach her new tricks. The closest we've got is we've taught how to like kind of stand up and beg for food when it's dinner time, but that's about it. But otherwise she's just adorable. She's cute. Pictures are over in the Discord if you want to see her. Alright, I think on that note, I'm going to jump off. Hope the rest of you have a wonderful rest of the day, whatever time it happens to be for you. I will see you, hopefully, tomorrow in the next review video. And if not, I'll see you next week for the next live stream. Alright, take care everyone. Goodbye.